Oh my God, you guys. Holy smokes, what a struggle to get here today. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Happy New Year. Hi, Tennielle, Rachel, Aliyah. I posted the link. Oh my God. Last time, right? Tennielle and Aliyah, last time, there was a setting change to where you guys couldn't even read all the comments. Thankfully, oh, there she is.
I'm trying to clear. I've got all this crap on my screen.
Yeah, I just did the same thing. Hey, I just noticed that in the settings of the last live stream, right, it said that guests cannot see all the comments.
Oh,
Thankfully, you had your other device, your cell phone, and you were streaming on the tablet, right?
yes.
Dude, what a struggle this last time it wasn't so bad.
Okay. Here, I think.
But I can hear and see you. Hello to the
Okay.
happy hobbit. Yeah, I watched Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King today, so I figured. No, actually, that's not the reason. I tell you what the reason is. I turned on my camera, right, and it showed my entire background, and there's stuff sitting there already for tomorrow because I have to be back at work. And so it says the city that I live in on it at the stage. There's oh my God, Aliyah. Oh my God, you look beautiful.
Hi.
So festive.
Thank you.
Hey.
It's so great to be here with you. Happy New Year. Mwah.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. And hi to you. I can't. Oh, I'm in StreamYard now. I have to figure out where do I see the chat. Ooh, I don't remember how. Okay, I will figure it out. But hello to. I think I
Okay.
saw rinse, repeat, something like that. So happy New
Yeah.
Year to you too.
Tennielle is back. Yes. Happy New Year to everybody. Be sure be
Hmm.
sure you're on live chat at
Be sure you're on live chat at the top to see all.
oh, you mean on YouTube though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's YouTube. This
Yeah.
this is StreamYard, and whew, I gotta figure this one out.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh, is there something blinking on your diadem up there? There are lights going
Uh,
on. How sweet.
my youngest son said nobody does that, and I said, yeah, people do, and I'm doing it.
Yeah. I saw one at the store the day before yesterday and they were like $7 and I was like, hell no.
I got this at the dollar store. I don't know how much it was, but it was very, very cheap and affordable. So why not have some
Yeah.
fun with it, right?
Yeah. It looks beautiful. And so does your hair.
You're very sweet. Thank you. This is like a wig, obviously. This is more like what my hair color used to be when I was younger before, I got old.
Right.
And this hasn't been styled at all, but I just figured, hey, let me put on something different for a change. So,
Yeah.
hello, Lemon Tree
Beautiful.
Quilts is here. Hello, Lemon Tree Quilts. Hi.
Yes, hi, Lemon Tree. So we made it into 2024. Woo!
Oh, God willing, it's going to be a great year for everybody, I hope, right? Only good things.
Better be.
Yep.
Better be. Tennielle, what's going on? Either we can't hear
Okay,
you or you're not
I'm
saying.
here and I can hear you and I can see you, but you're tiny. So I'm trying to get all this other crap off my screen. I have some other stuff that's open and I'm not seeing how to close it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I see what you mean. Hmm.
But I can see you guys and I can hear you. I was just trying to close out these other, whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't do this last time, so I'm not sure why. Maybe I should leave and come back in with the link.
You want to try that?
Yeah, I'm going to try that. I'm going to go out and then I'll come back in.
I still haven't figured out everything either. There are so many buttons to click here. Picture in picture layout.
I see that
Cinema.
Rachel says that her first job of 2024 was scooping the litter box.
Oh, dude.
Well, that's a fun way to start the year, I guess. Nice fresh scent after you're finished. Maybe not before, but
Yeah, I had to do it all the time. Snowball, she's dead now, but Snowball in the States, she went once and I had to go and scoop. Otherwise, she would not cooperate anymore.
okay. In a way, that's good though. That meant that she was very, very particular and very careful, right?
Yeah. She was an old lady like Miss Norma Jean, white,
Mhm.
solid
Yeah, yeah.
white.
I like that name, Snowball. That's so cute. Was she very
Yeah.
fluffy and kind of round also?
Yeah, round. Yeah, not as a snowball, but she
No.
had no different colored hair on her body. I searched once. It was only white
Wow,
hair.
that's so cool. Hey,
Mm.
Kate's here. Happy New Year to you too, Kate. Good to see
Hi,
ya.
Kate. Happy New Year. Yeah, we just said it better be a good one.
Yeah. There's so many people who have been struggling with so many different things, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's like their health, their employment, their relationships. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Divorces or that one guy at work. Sometime during the pandemic, he came in and he sent he turned in a sick slip and he said the university clinic cannot figure out why he's had diarrhea for 4 weeks. They finally figured it out. He had 3 different cancers, stage
my
3.
gosh. That's horrible, eh?
So he kept. Oh, there's Tennielle again.
Okay,
Hi.
this is normal. I can see everything and hear and do.
Yay.
Okay, I'm good. I'm
Hey,
good.
she's back.
Oh, you've got your crown flash. I got a crown. I've got a Christmas crown, paper crown.
Oh, that's so cute.
For
Yeah,
our little,
on Christmas Day,
there we go.
you were both wearing your reindeer things. Sabina, you had on those little flashing Christmas bulbs, right? So I figured, okay, I got to come prepared.
Well, it's nice that you're in the middle. That's where you belong with that kind of look.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and I love the hair. That's so pretty. It's a pretty color.
Thank you. This is lighter than what my hair used to be when I was younger. It was a little bit of a deeper shade of red than that, you know. I'm gonna find soon once I declutter my bedroom the picture of my hair on the day I got married, because that was when we get married. Some women will start to cover their hair right away, but some will only do so once they're married. So that was kind of like the last time in public everybody saw my hair, and it was like really curly and it was very pretty. So I'll try to find that picture to show you what it was like back then.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, but I still do have hair under here. It goes down to about here, you know? So, and it used to be much curlier. Now it's mostly wavy, probably because I always have it pulled back in a bun, you know? But, yeah.
It
My hair
makes
was
so much
black
of a
when I got
difference.
married the first time.
I'm sorry.
Come again?
I said my hair was black when I got married the first time when I was really young.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I kept it black for years.
Oh, wow.
It
This color
was
is really
a big change.
beautiful.
When I decided to grow out the gray, you know, it was a big change. It was like this brown and then black. You know, I had to do the big chop.
Yeah. You see
Yes,
that
we all deserve a happier one this year. We
Yes,
do.
yes, we do.
Thank you, Kate. You're so sweet.
So, hi, everybody in the chat. Sorry I've been so distracted and didn't speak. Hi, everybody. Rachel, Kate, who all's in here? Everybody.
I even told Peggy. She posted a video earlier today. I think it was earlier today. It popped up on my, up there where the subscriptions are. And I wrote in her comments, won't you join me in a live stream?
Well, I'm glad everybody decided to come. This is so fun.
Yeah.
Love our little chats like this. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to see you in your wingback chair in your corner over there. I really like that with the bookcases around you, you know?
I decided to do it in here so I wouldn't be right in the middle of the whole house and life could go on. I'm back tucked away in my little nook here.
Are you going to be doing any more of your reading videos?
I hope to. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have any time
Yes,
to.
please.
I can't
Yes,
even.
please.
I can't even do what I need to do, much less what I want to do.
Oh
But as soon
boy.
as I have some time, I love doing that. And I've been listening to the Laura Ingalls, Little House in the Big
Yeah.
Woods, Little House on the Prairie. Those are such great stories. And
Yeah.
also, I love Anne of Green Gables. I've been wanting to do that. And there's some other like nice children's stories that are good, and they're copyright free because they're old, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about like censorship or anything on those. You can just read them.
Right.
You're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. Like there's no bad language. There are no strange or
Mhm.
awkward, sexual situations and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Right. So,
And it's
yep.
easy to read. It's easy concepts, easy verbiage. They're fun to read. It's not a
Yeah.
struggle.
They really, really are. Yeah. Yeah. The Anne of Green Gables book. The Anne of Green Gables house is on Prince Edward Island here in Canada. And
Hmm.
our family had gone to Prince Edward Island once after we had vacationed in Nova Scotia. We didn't have the time though to go check out that house, but that would be really cool to see one day, and then like to share a video of what the actual, home looked like where she lived.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I remember the cool thing about Prince Edward Island is because anywhere you go swimming in Canada, the water is generally pretty cold. Even in the summer, like if you go swimming in some of the lakes here, let's say in Quebec or in Ontario, unless we've had, let's say, a good month of really hot weather, the water is pretty chilly. You've got to be really determined to want to swim. But in Prince Edward Island, somehow, because of the way the Gulf Stream coming up along the what do you call it? The southeast coast of the States sort of mixes in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. So on the western shores of Prince Edward Island between PEI and like the mainland of Canada. First of all, the sand is reddish and it's so beautiful, and the water is warm. Like, I mean, warm. You can happily go in there and swim and frolic, do whatever you want, and you don't feel cold at all. And it's weird because the rest of the water in Canada is pretty darn chilly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the
Okay,
only.
you say Canada. I'm thinking Chantal. Can we take a moment? The woman is driving me up the wall. I
Oh
should
my
not check
gosh.
anymore. I'm not subscribed to her, so I have to manually check if she's posted anything. And can she get any more ignorant about the situation at hand? I can't. I can't. I
No.
can't deal with yeah, Kate. I
Yeah.
can't deal
Yeah.
anymore with what he said, what he
Who,
did, and
who
the dick
says Kate?
pics, and now yeah. And now she wants to take him back, and she's making it sound like it's the most normal thing in the world.
Mm,
Somebody that she's not met
Normal.
longer
That is
than a year
normal.
ago. They've only been together for a year, right?
I don't understand her at all. I would be so deeply concerned by what he was saying in those chats. A fetish is one thing, but it seemed rather extreme.
Yeah.
Especially when he used that R word. I'm going to, R you and your Bible. I mean, generally people who are religious, while they may not, agree with somebody else's religious viewpoint, when they know others might be religious, they're respectful. Like, okay, I'm respectful to you. You're respectful to me. We see things a bit differently, but okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, to say such a thing, and the other things like, to do number 1 and number 2 on you. And then I think it showed on Twitter. It wasn't shown in any of the, I think, commentary videos that I took a quick look at. But I think on Twitter that what do you call it? That member, right, who had done this interaction, she had shared a couple of clips of like pornographic videos that he had shared with her, right, where the man in the video is using his foot to push down the woman's head and stuff like. And like, my gosh, like, I don't know.
That was some extreme. That was extreme. I mean,
yeah.
That was some extreme behavior to just engage in one time with a random stranger. I mean, that stuff escalates. You just don't start out that extreme.
You're right. Yeah.
You lead up to something,
Yeah.
And she's making it sound like he's into, I don't know, wearing wearing a hat or some, some innocent
Yeah.
fetish. These are not innocent fetishes. These are violent thoughts. I mean,
Yeah,
including
extreme.
violence against, yeah.
Yep.
And then in that live stream that she, her I Hate Men live stream, where she deleted it,
Yeah.
and she was talking, I don't know you. I don't know who you are. She was right. Of
Yes, she
Yeah.
course she
was.
doesn't know him. She barely knows him.
Yeah.
I think
And the
she's.
one that I cut out where she said he did nothing but kill her and all of a sudden he's the perfect husband again. Or when she said she's gonna dump him if he's, no, at least he didn't send dick pics. And then the dick pics came out and then she's still justified taking him back. Man, I don't know what to say anymore. How can somebody walk through this life without a backbone at all?
And
Yeah.
here's the thing that I would be thinking if I were her. There is no way I would go back there because she humiliated him internationally. And he will bide, I say, this is what I would be thinking if I were in her position, that he's biding his time to get vengeance in a more conducive atmosphere where I have less rights and less ability to, do anything about it. So yeah, he's going to wait until she gets back there, and then she's going to pay for humiliating him and not just denying everything and being quiet about it. Those
Yeah.
impromptu, very spontaneous live streams that she did and just spilled the beans and said all kinds of stuff. And then she deleted them, but they're everywhere. And obviously he's seeing them too. And he
Hmm.
may just be sweet talking her, the honeymoon phase, sweet talking her back over there to where, she's has less rights. I don't want to be like,
Yeah.
women are property or anything like that over there, but they don't have
Yeah.
as much access to recourse in domestic
Yeah.
situations.
No.
Yeah.
So
And
I
And
don't be
you.
And
scared to
Kate,
go
yeah,
back
she
there.
was licking Al Shami's feet, and she didn't know that it was a thing, like a submissive thing. He was telling her to lick his feet because he, like she's the dirt under his, like she needs to clean his feet, and she thought it's a kinky thing. It was not.
If I can say something to what Tennielle brought up right now, not only does I think she have to fear going back because of how he might respond and how he might behave over there, but I'm sure there are a lot of people behind the scenes in Kuwait and other countries nearby who have watched this, and his friends, and who knows how they are going to behave, right? To show this is how we handle
Mhm.
women who are so disrespectful towards men. There are
Yeah.
crazy extremists out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
another thing, he mentioned a lot of religious things that over there are. I mean, you don't have the right to say whatever you want over there. You can't be saying certain things because there's legal repercussions for that. And
Hmm.
fetishes aside, what he said, dirty talk, ugly things he said about whatever, all that aside, he made some comments that he's probably going to be like held responsible for. And
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
Exactly.
if his family is very, sensitive to that, they're very religious or whatever, he's got some stuff to answer for. And I bet he's going to get her in some kind of way.
Yeah, and he
And
lives in
she's thinking the
Kuwait, and
opposite.
Germany is a pretty free country. You can say a lot of things, but you cannot point your finger at a certain group, especially not a religion, and talk like that.
Right,
Not disrespectful. So he would get into trouble in Germany even for what he said.
right.
Oh,
And then
hi, Sue.
she's thinking the other way. She's thinking now
Celestial. Okay.
he's done something
Happy New Year,
bad,
Sue.
so he'll be trying to please me. So I'm on top. He'll be doing what I want, trying to please me and kissing my butt and trying to make up to me and stuff. But so she's going to expect this kind of honeymoon behavior because she thinks, she's the one on top. When in fact, he's could be, in my opinion, allegedly just biding his time to get her back where he can handle what he wants to, do her how he wants for this whole thing coming out and her
Oh yeah.
reaction.
Oh
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's going to get
And
ugly if she goes back over there.
and
That's going
that
to get
too, how
ugly.
do they have the money to fly her back and forth? And the next time she's gonna have to buy two seats.
Yeah, she was saying that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Can I just interject with something here, and then we'll get right back to Chantel, just because you're talking about 2 seats on an airplane. Some reaction channel had shared a TikTok that was posted by a woman who was traveling in the U.S. with her teenage daughter and her teenage daughter's friend. I don't know if any of you saw this, but they were flying Southwest Airlines. And apparently Southwest Airlines now has a policy that if a customer of size, like an obese person, wants, they can then get a second and, if need be, a third seat for free. They just have to make that request. Okay. So, that aside, apparently a customer of size shows up, did not let Southwest know in advance. She had paid for 1 ticket. And so they put the obese person onto the flight and kicked off the woman and the 2 teenage girls to spend the night overnight in the airport. Their luggage had already gone on ahead of them, and Southwest didn't offer the woman and the 2 teenagers a hotel room overnight. Now, the customer of size hadn't even let the airline know in advance that, hey, please, reserve 2 seats. Don't sell those 2 seats on the plane. I'm going to, request them for me. Okay, that's your policy. That's what you're doing. Wonderful. But for somebody to show up and not have let them know in advance, that person then gets the 2 extra seats. Whoops. And the woman and the 2 daughters, they're bumped off, and they have to spend the night sleeping in, the open airports. But I'm sorry. So when I saw you mention the 2 seats, I thought, it's getting kind of ridiculous how people are being catered to, without respect for other individuals. There should be a way to balance out being respectful and helpful at the same time.
Yeah. Hey, Miss Hussey's Gucci scarf.
That's a great name.
Happy New Year to you too.
That's a travesty. They shouldn't have done that to that lady and her daughter. That's wrong. They went about that totally wrong.
No,
I couldn't believe that. I thought that's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And kind of stupid also that Southwest doesn't give whatever manager is in charge, let's say, of handling these complaints, let's say in the airport, because the woman with the teenage girls right away complained to somebody. They don't give their employees the the authority to say, you know what, I'm going to make an executive decision over here, and I think it's going to be a lot better for our PR for the entire company if we give her a hotel room with her $2 overnight. What's that going to cost? Whereas the goodwill that they're losing now and the negative PR, you know how expensive that is for them? Like craziness.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't mean to get us off of Chantel. I was just so upset when I saw that,
No, I'm already done venting because I just wanted to get confirmation that you guys don't understand what she's doing either, and that there's no backbone. I just keep turning in circles in my thoughts because I'm trying to understand her. So she's desperate, so she can't land any, like I said in my video today. She can't land anyone else, and so she has to hold on to that one that she has.
She's incredibly
because what does he
desperate.
have to do? If that is not enough, what does he have to do for her to say, I'm done?
Yeah.
I would have respected her more if she had stuck to her initial live stream where she called him bad names and stuck out the middle finger.
Which I mean is an understandable emotional reaction under those circumstances. Maybe she, could be a little bit more careful what she says and shares on live. But I mean, to be that upset, that made sense.
Yeah.
But then to, say, okay, I'm going to forgive him no matter what. And even when he apologizes, he lies again. No, I didn't send any pictures. He didn't even come completely clean. So what makes her think that, wait a minute, he feels remorse? What kind of remorse did he feel if he's still lying to her while he's apologizing?
Oh, he was sorry, all right. He was sorry he got caught. He was sorry
because he got something.
He wasn't sorry for what he did. He was sorry he got in trouble. He got caught and got busted. And then she outed him to everyone with her live stream.
Yeah.
So,
So how did that girl out him on Twitter, right?
Yeah. On Twitter. She was like Sharmuta or something. That was her name on Twitter, was like Sharmuta. And she outed him on Twitter.
Sharmuta World X or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but then somebody, I think it was Zachary Michael, said that she had since deleted her or privated her account, right?
Yeah, I don't know who found out that Sharmuta was the was that girl that actually did it.
Oh, okay. I thought those were the same person.
Bella or Kay Bella, however
Kay
that's
Bella,
pronounced.
right? That's
Yeah,
the
Kay
name.
Bella. I don't know how she got hooked to be in Sharmuta, but then like after somebody said that was her, I think she admitted it and, come out with that little video,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a dangerous situation for her, too. Whether you agree with what she did or not, the mere fact that there are so many kind of like fanatical, right, beezers out there, who knows what would happen to her, right? What kind of repercussions there might be in her private life.
Yeah.
And I'm no like Chantel sympathizer, don't get me wrong. But I'm worried for her to make a bad call in this situation. She done pissed off some people.
Yeah.
She done
Oh, yeah.
humiliated someone who cannot stand to be humiliated. She's
No, right. He
I'd be
clearly
worried.
prefers,
I'd be worried if that was her.
right. He clearly prefers the humiliation going the other way around, right? He seems to
Yeah.
get
So obviously it is hugely important.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And guys,
personally,
I'm gonna go out on a limb here because I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if you know, but we had a lot of Americans stationed in Germany after the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Okay, so I know or always knew what Americans are like. Then we had white Russians coming to Germany, so we learned what they were like.
Yeah.
Since the Syrians are over here, I've never had a man come at me and challenge me during the brightest daylight downtown on a sidewalk in front of stores. I have rammed my shoulder into so many Syrian men, and I'm 5'8" and I'm not necessarily skinny, but they're all Syrian. When I said something like the fuck, the first few shocked me, and now I'm like, you will learn to respect women. You know, Germany is a country where German men, except for a few exceptions, maybe, respect women. But these guys from Syria, I mean, not all of them,
Right.
but the ones that ran into me were yapping in Arabic.
Mhm.
And so I do not even want to know what they do in their own country or close to their own country or in a country where people speak their language, because um, the ones that I came across didn't speak German or English. And so I couldn't like have an exchange with them. Like, you got to imagine, they or most of them expect for the woman to be covered, like wear a hijab or whatever. So now they're coming to Germany where the teenage girlies wear barely anything in the summertime, and women like me, you know, when the sun shines, or when it does, even when it rains, my hair is glowing, you know, when I'm out there during the day. But I had no idea. I always, heard it, and I thought it's all in the distance somewhere on this planet. But when you have men actually walking towards you and ram their shoulder into you, and a lot of times I made a scene. I said, I can't believe these people. And people joined in, and said, yeah, they have no manners. And then they would yap something in Arabic and keep walking, but they have attacked women. Let's say a couple of months ago, teenagers were standing there smoking cigarettes. One of them, turns out it was a man from Syria, because they put it in the newspaper, walks up to them, asks them for a cigarette, and they're like, like I am, big mouth, like, no, no, I'm not giving you a cigarette. And he rammed a knife into one of them.
What?
And these things keep happening. And so that's why I'm reacting so allergically to Chantal saying, hey, that is just an innocent fetish. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and just move on. These people, not these people, but
Right.
some of them are nothing to mess with. They
No, of
mean
course not.
business. Yeah.
Mhm.
End of rant.
No, I get it for sure. Yeah, I mean, you never want to like make a global judgment, right? I mean, when
Yeah.
you think back to after the event, you were talking about how there, and sometimes there still is, right? There's a judgment against anybody German, right? You never want to do that, because each individual should be judged in and of themselves, right, based on their own character,
Yes.
their own behaviors, etc. But there are certain cultures where violent, negative, damaging, hurtful behavior is, tolerated, if not
It's
encouraged. right?
And normal. It seems normal.
You're right. It's
Or like, I don't
normalized.
know if I mentioned it in one of my videos, that one lady, and I don't know, I still don't know what country she was from, because I did not it wasn't Italian, it wasn't Spanish, it wasn't Russian. She was yapping something and I couldn't understand it, but she was trying to get on the bus, and you wait in line and you let the people get off the bus, and that bus was full, right? And then you get on. I was the first one to get on, and I don't really care if it was an old woman. I would have let her gone by, but she was in her 20s and she was trying to squeeze by me. So I grabbed her, which is unthinkable in the United States, but in Germany, I grabbed her by her jacket and said, "Absolutely not." And she was like, "Ruh, ruh, 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 da, 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 da," and she poked me right here with her fingers like this. I said,
Jeez.
"The fuck?" That's usually my go-to response. And I'm like, "The fuck?" And I grabbed her and I pushed her back, and she ran backwards about, I don't know, 10, 15 feet, and fell down on her butt. And I said, "This is not how we do things in Germany." She was like, "Nah, nah, 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 Germany." And she tried to copy what I was saying. And I said, "Absolutely not." And people were clapping.
Yeah, Kate
These
mentions in the chat that it's the same in the UK. You know,
Yeah, they're all over the place. Hey, but Ruth, oh my gosh, my queen of eloquence, just like Tennielle, here, Sabina, I just got you. I'm not in on the conversation. It's wonderful to see you. It's wonderful to see you. I'm so glad you could make it. I feel honored. You guys' videos crack me up. The last one, I almost sprayed my coffee on my screen again. I cannot drink anything when her and Karen get going on their channel, and the channel name, and last time I didn't know for sure, it's Mavis and Mudhead. Mavis,
Mavis and Mutthead.
yeah, Ruth, if you can post the link in the comments. That channel is gonna be the end of me. I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up once this stream is over. Get to know you
and
guys.
and they do Amber and Chantal, and their banter back and forth. They're both from the UK. Hilarious. Hilarious.
Oh, I love the British sense of humor.
Me too.
Oh
They
yeah,
they
It's
got it. You're gonna love
fabulous.
their videos. Mavis with S. Not Mavid. What are you doing?
yeah, Mavis and Mutthead. Yeah. Okay.
That's a
Mavis.
play on Beavis and Butthead, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think so.
And they tear Chantal and Amber a new one frequently. I mean, totally different style
Yeah,
than me.
it's always great.
With laughing and making fun of each other. It's as long as they got the correct words. Mavis. Wait, Mavis and Mudhead, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
I agree, Rachel. Chantel's long overdue. She is long overdue for some comeuppance.
Yeah, and the thing I find interesting, I don't know if Chantel has come out and said this, but I mean, being Canadian, I can tell you that if she wants to keep her Canadian healthcare and her citizenship status intact, she can't leave the country for longer than 6 months. She has to be here, generally speaking, for like another, I think it is 6 months out of the year. I mean, what do people think, that you're going to, enjoy all of the Canadian healthcare and social benefits over here, and yet they're going to move out and come back for just like a few days or a week or two? I mean, and especially with her, right? I mean, she owes a fortune in taxes. She wasn't even mentally enough to pay her taxes, but she's sure happy to come and, make benefit of the Canadian healthcare system.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember seeing in a video from, I don't know if you watch Kidney J. She's a young lady in Toronto. She does reacts. She comments a lot on Chantel's channel because she has kidney disease since I think she was born. So she's doing dialysis regularly during the week. So she's trying to point out all of the details about diabetes and poor health habits and what they can come to for you. And she talked about when Chantel went to the emergency room because her glucose reading. I know Americans have a different measure, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to convert it to that, but it was 23. Whereas in Canada, you were diagnosed as being pre-diabetic if the number is 6, and you're diabetic if it's 6.5. And the normal range on that scale is usually between 4 and 5. And she was 23, virtually on the edge of like a diabetic coma and this ketoacidosis, you know, which could kill her. So she went to an emergency room and she complained that she was there for 12 hours. She wasn't waiting for 12 hours. She, during that time, was assessed. And I think they had to do a few tests, and then they treated her. And then after the fact, she complained that they gave her something to eat, but that it was not, you know, part of the diabetic diet. She was complaining about the food they served her. But they served her that type of a food because they wanted to see, wait a minute, now that we've brought down her sugar level, how reactive is she to having a higher carb meal? You know, and I mean, look at her when she's either doing a live stream or she's in her videos, right? And it's always high carb. And I mean, I empathize with that. I have, you know, controlled my mood a lot through the things that I eat. And that's how I ended up being obese. But she has had already so many red flags. Most of us, myself included, right? We procrastinate. We think one day, but you would think that when those red flags show up and your health is failing, that you finally get the message and at least try to control a little bit how often you're eating the wrong foods. And she just goes all out and then complains when she goes to, you know, the clinic or a walk-in clinic or an emergency room at, well, gosh, they want me to wait for a while to get, you know, bariatric surgery, which I can tell you wouldn't help her too much. It helped me a little bit, but not enough, because unless you deal with what's going on up here, the bariatric surgery is a temporary tool to help you, but it's not going to solve the problem. You have to deal with why you're eating.
No.
But I mean, the entitlement that she has, you know, I mean, there are other people who show up in emergency rooms who need help. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I went on a Saturday night, which is usually quieter in emergency rooms because people, you know, will sometimes when they don't have a family doctor, which is a real issue here in Canada, many people don't have them, will go to an emergency room if their child has a cold or a fever so they can get a prescription or something like that. So Saturday nights are usually quieter. And my landlady downstairs, she's developing dementia. She's almost 90. And she fell trying to get into her bed and she dislocated her shoulder. Now, we went in by ambulance. I went with her. And we were in like a hallway in the emergency room with all these gurneys lined up behind us. These are people coming in with ambulance, right? They're not ambulatory walking in. So they usually get priority. And this nearly 90-year-old woman with a dislocated shoulder had to wait nearly between 4 and 5 hours before she was even given one Tylenol. Okay. I wasn't even seeing a doctor yet or a scan or anything like that. And here's Chantal, who, you know, just walks in and expects everybody to drop everything. Doesn't she appreciate there are people who maybe are showing up with life-threatening issues, you know?
And also, you know, if she wasn't such a know-it-all and think that she knows better than the doctors, she should have eaten that and let them see how she responded to that glucose. So maybe they could have given her some help and understood what's going on with her. But no, she's going to refuse what she's offered because she knows better than the doctor.
Right.
It's tiresome. She's tiresome. Listening to her litany of excuses and reasons why she's the exception to every rule and nothing applies to her except for what she, you know, decides that she's going to do that day. It's just, it's exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah, I see in the chat that Rachel is mentioning that when she left Ontario after 6 months, her healthcare was no longer. I mean,
yeah,
that makes sense, right?
It sure does.
I want to punch her. She's been so punchable lately.
Yeah.
I like Kate's comment. She'd tip her out.
Yeah.
Just bloop.
And hi, Range Rover. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Range Rover Addict. That's a cute channel name. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but oh wow. I want to do something else on my channel. I can't stand them anymore. But then I watch Karen and Ruth, you know, the Tiger on Vaseline and Mavis and Mudhead. I watch them and they make so much fun. I mean, it's so humorous and the way they go back and forth. And then I'm like, yeah, it's not all that bad.
It's one of those
And then
things you
she's
just have
eating
to
again.
say.
It's like she doesn't learn from anything, you know? And it's like they talk about different things, Amber and her, but all they ever do is just stuff unhealthy food in their mouth because otherwise they would lose weight.
Yeah. And deflect, and not take any responsibility for themselves and make
Yeah.
excuses and set up stuff for later excuses just so they can do whatever they want to and not
Yeah.
have anybody say, well, everybody tried to tell you running off with somebody to another country like that so quick might not be the best idea. Maybe you ought to kind of see what this dude is about and what he's into.
Yeah.
She wouldn't listen.
Kate, I can answer that very easily. Sometimes I'm so frustrated with I just told you about incidents downtown and I get home and Amber's posted and I'm like, hells yeah. And then I can vent, but I don't have to talk about or relive what I went through that day. I can
Right.
just say, yeah, okay, but if you ate a little less, then maybe you wouldn't have these problems. And it's the same with Chantal, but Chantal is more eloquent than Amber, and she also has these darting eyes and these weird or oddly shaped eyes. I
You
don't know
talking
what.
about Amber now?
No,
The outlet.
Chantal,
Oh, okay.
Chantal. And she's more eloquent, and she's trying to like with a little bit more intelligence, I feel, to justify more why she's doing the same things over and over again. I mean, she moves to Kuwait, I give her that. She comes back, she travels, she does travel vlogs, I give her that. I mean, Amber's just boring, and
Mhm.
just going down the drain with her gambling and the drugs and alcohol and everything. I don't know what else she can add on to her life to make her body croak faster. I don't know what. Maybe doing mukbangs again with the whole tray full of food that would last five head family a whole day.
As you're mentioning that, what else can she do that will shorten her life more quickly? And I'm thinking, these ladies, right, were aware they had interacted with what was it, Jennifer Ann? Was that her name, right? Of Life by Jen. You must know what I'm referring to, the channel,
Hmm.
right? And I mean, my God, look at that woman. She passed away. So I don't know, are Chantal and Amber thinking, well, you know what, I'm not her age yet. She was in her 40s. I mean, it's not a matter of age. You see so many, right? I think they sometimes post there are these fat activists, right, who are in their
Mhm.
early 30s, and they can, like, God forbid, just drop, right, because
Mm.
of like a heart condition, something unexpected. And it's like no matter how many messages they are getting, they're just not changing anything.
Mm.
And one of the reasons that I think I like to now and then, I don't do it too often because it frustrates me too much, but listen to these commentaries, is that it reminds me, I'm kind of playing the same game with myself, that because I am not as large as they are, I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm overweight. Everybody's overweight. I'm a bit obese, but okay, I can work on it slowly. And I need to get the message, wait a minute, I've got to work on this now and finally tackle it because it could
Mm.
happen at any time.
Mm.
But that's true for all of us. I mean, you could get struck by lightning walking your doggy. It could happen to anybody at any time. So the more we can take care of our health, the better. And
Right.
yet,
Yeah.
the likelihood that something's going to give out on you if you're carrying around 300 or 400 extra pounds, it
Yeah.
just increases.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
chances are anybody could go at any time. And everything that we do to ourselves that's kind of negative just gives us worse odds.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
excuses like Life by Jennifer Gwen Ann or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Um,
Hmm.
she used the same excuses, the same attempted justifications for her behavior. She kept stringing herself along. I don't think she did it for the audience, even though she had to make money too. And that is the problem for all of them. If they just leave the internet and say, I'm going to focus on myself and I don't want to run everything through the filter, is it going to get me views or not? They can't do it because they have to make money.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that they honestly do lie to themselves too, that
Yeah.
it feels good to justify the behavior that they want to engage in.
Yeah.
And when
And
you find
just today, I can't remember when she posted it, maybe 2 days ago. Chantal said it's hard to eat healthy when you're dealing with something emotionally. And that's the kind of thing that sticks out in my head. And I'm like, yeah, just because I got something going on doesn't justify me having a whole chocolate bar. Maybe I just have a
that's one,
piece. And so they teach me to maintain my weight because I
that's
am
one.
overweight. I have not had weight loss surgery and I have not lost any weight since I got back from the States because the food here is too good. But I've been using amber and I'm a food addict. But like every time I wanna like I have a craving for something that is really unhealthy, I watch these two and I don't have it, or I only have a little bit. Like I get myself, a Whopper from Burger King, and then I only eat a third of it. And then hours later, I eat another third of it, and I just don't scarf it down like they do. And
Mhm.
they teach me or show me what can happen if I never say no. That's what that looks like. You
Yeah.
keep getting bigger and keep justifying it. And also, Kate, when you asked how I deal with these women, is because they help me also because they use these excuses, like I'm gonna start tomorrow, or I should be walking more, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna walk now, and then I go and I walk. That's
Right.
how they help me, and that's how they even like how I deal with reacting to them.
Mhm. I'm the
Or missing
same. If I
someone.
feel lazy, I don't want to do, I just want to sit in bed and eat ice cream. If I see Amber sitting in bed eating ice cream, there, but for the grace of God, we'll go. I'm going to go walk on the treadmill and, spring clean my whole house. I definitely get great amounts of negative inspiration from Amber, especially,
Mm,
and her excuses and reasons, like you were just saying, the heartbreak diet. Remember, she's like, and you could see the glee in her eyes when she clutched onto that excuse. Oh, I
yeah.
can order takeout 3 or 4 times a day because I'm brokenhearted, and my girlfriend left me, so I'm so sad. So I can eat whatever I want, and it was almost worth it to have the breakup to be able to have that excuse.
Yeah. Hey, Aliyah,
Yes, ma'am.
mute your microphone when you type.
No.
Uh,
I'm over 200. I'm well over 200 too,
I'm
and
right
I'm
there.
just lucky about every day that I don't gain any weight, because sometimes, especially when you got stuff going on in your life, my go-to is always I gotta eat something good. I gotta reward myself for having it made through that day, and that is an everyday struggle. And yeah, I'm lucky that I'm maintaining.
Yeah. Mine just under, but after the holidays, I might be right there at the borderline. I'm not sure. I haven't weighed myself in a little bit, but I was staying right around 195 and I have quit dieting, and because it was just in the forefront of my mind all the time. And during the holidays, I try not to even worry about that. I will eat, drink, and be merry. We had the big baby shower, then Christmas, then New Year's. We went out for a lovely brunch yesterday. It was so nice. And I just, during the holidays and celebrating with friends, I don't worry about that. It's not a priority like it used to be.
No, I don't
Throwing
know.
in some ASMR.
I just saw that.
Sorry about that, guys. I'll
Wow.
be
I
more
didn't
careful.
get it. You did it last time. See, I had to check if there was anything that I had to cut out before I
Oh no.
uploaded, and I
So
was like,
sorry.
"What is that sound?" And then the only common denominator was you looking at the in front of you.
I'm very
It's
sorry. I'll be
it's
more
fine.
careful.
I learned that at work.
Uh,
We had so many video conferences, and somebody was always typing or yelling at their kids or whatever, right? And so we were all told, mute yourself unless you say something.
okay.
You know.
Uh, I don't know if I'm sure, well, some of you may have heard of Dr.
Tim
Jason
Tam.
Fung.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading Rogue's thing. Aren't
Me
Tim
too.
Tams those little cookies you bite on and you drink your coffee through those, Celestial? And
Oh
they're those
yeah.
little, yeah, they're like little biscuits, and you like can bite off the end and you drink your coffee or tea through them and it gets a chocolatey. I've seen those on TikTok. I want to try a Tim Tam.
They
Those look
sound
good.
dangerous.
Yes, they do, don't they?
Yeah. The chocolate cookie and coffee. Yeah, I don't know if you ladies have read and or seen any videos or reactions to Dr. Jason Fung. He's a Canadian nephrologist, a kidney specialist.
No.
And he has his own, he has a couple of websites. One is called dietdoctor.com, I believe. And he talks a lot about what he does is to help people limit the damage to their kidneys, particularly when they are extreme diabetics. Is he runs a specialized clinic where they train and support their patients to lose a lot of weight quickly and to bring down their diabetic response, their insulin needs by doing fasting, whether it's extended intermittent fasting or water fasting for a few days, that sort of thing. But what I really appreciate about what he shares is that, you know, people shouldn't have this black or white mindset in that, okay, I'm dieting, I need to lose weight, and or, oh, well, you know, I broke my diet because I went to a wedding, or I ran into a friend and, hey, we sat down for coffee and we shared a Danish, right? And so people often think, oh, well, I've blown it. I might as well just, you know, I'll start again on Monday, or, you know, I'll eat the rest of the day, whatever I want. And because I'm going to be going on a diet, I'm going to like load up on all of my favorites.
Yeah.
What he says is like what Tennielle says now, is that there are always going to be, you know, special social occasions, celebratory occasions, vacations. And he says, go ahead and enjoy them within reason, right? Make sure you eat your favorite foods, you know, have a big piece of the wedding cake. But then once those occasions are over, don't continue on. Go back and really focus on your health and do the best you can, right? We've got to ditch like this black and white thinking that it's all or nothing. Either I'm like binging like crazy and eating all of my favorite foods, or I'm on such a strict diet that I can't even go to a Christmas dinner and partake of, you know, the dessert, right? Yeah. Ooh, Ella's going into stage 5. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. Ay, ay, ay. Oh boy. That's awful. I'm very, very sorry to hear that.
Yes. I hope you've had a happy holiday and you're not feeling too bad.
Yeah, life must be such a struggle, my goodness. And I imagine, Elle, that when you hear of and or you see or you watch individuals like the ones we're talking about, and even ourselves, right? Like, or myself, where I'm saying, hey, you know, I know better, but look at me, right? What have I done with it yet? That it must be particularly sad and frustrating, and maybe it generates anger in you sometimes that, you know, people who still have good health or in great health are not doing enough to be grateful for it and, you know, take good care of it. And here
so
you are,
important.
you'd probably do everything that you could, right? So I'm very sorry.
Fair.
But then some have completely given up, and that takes me back to Chantal and or that other one. Karen and Ruth were posting a video where they were introducing a blonde woman with a lot of weight on her thighs and butt, and it looks so surreal. And I was like, I can't even look at that because there's so many dents in her skin too. You know.
Who was it that you said was sharing
What is
that?
her? Is she leather and lace or glitter and lace? Is that her?
Glitter and lasers.
Oh, okay.
I can't even look at her, just like I couldn't look at. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm bashing somebody's appearance. It's just a preference. I can't. Just like I couldn't bear Chantal with her darting eyes when she was at home. It made sense when she did it in the car. You know, scanning her environment to see if somebody's walking up to her. I got that, but she even did it at home. So where was the reason then? And Life by Chen, she developed like this thing right here. And then she tilted her head, and I was like, what is going on with that? And I could not watch. And plus, she used the same excuses like Amber did at the time. And so I couldn't get into watching her. And that blonde lady is just too uppity. Like she walked to a store and Karen and Ruth posted that today or yesterday. Yes, glitter and lasers.
Glitters and
Um, And they posted the video today or yesterday, and she was walking through a store, and she's like, "Ooh, I need to find that in my size," and throws it back. Anybody that's ever worked in retail, and I have, know that you gotta follow these people through the store, or after they've left, you gotta walk everywhere and fold everything again because they're just so entitled. And she is, and she's too loud, and she's too self-assured. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be if I looked like that.
Where do these women get that self-confidence? Even if
I don't
it's
know.
false self-confidence,
It's gotta be
where
body
does it
dysmorphia
come
or
from?
something.
I don't understand, because I know people that struggle, with lack of self-confidence, and there's absolutely no reason for it. They're perfectly lovely people. And then
Yeah.
you see these awful women who think that they are just a magnificent creature. It's
Like God's gift
amazing.
to earth. It's you
Yeah.
know what I'm thinking? Maybe it's like a food addiction. As a result, they look like that. And the food addiction fuels their delusion, and they can't see what we see. Because there's absolutely no way that Amber can completely ignore what she looks like when she films her TikToks. Maybe she only sees herself with the filters on. I don't know. And by the way, and I want to apologize, and I wish I could turn it off. I got a filter on, and it's subtle. It's called subtle, but I can't turn it off now that it's on. And so now I look like somebody painted my face on, and I don't even have any makeup on. I mean,
It
I got
doesn't look
eye,
like that
I
to
got, I got eye makeup on, and I got lipstick on, but I don't have anything on my skin. Look at my skin. These filters are killer, and I
I wouldn't
can't.
even know how to operate one. Hmm.
Well, I saw it. It was like a beauty something, and I was like, "Oh yeah." Before the last live stream we did, Tennielle,
Yeah. Yeah.
and when I was in that studio before I entered this part where I can go live, I saw it. Yeah, especially Aliyah with her hair and the thingy. And Tennielle is always beautiful. She looks like she's in her 20s. Gosh darn it.
Yeah. And
Oh,
your hair, Tennielle, is so glossy and shiny, so
Yeah.
beautifully
oh,
healthy.
thank you. That's a satin bonnet, girl. Sleep in a satin bonnet for the shiniest, healthiest hair.
I cracked up laughing. I mean, the whole video was more on the sincere side, but when, the camera came on and you're sitting there with the
Boom.
bonnet, and I'm like, oh my God. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking
love
about
my
getting myself one
satin.
too.
Yeah, some of them have stuff in them that moisturizes your hair while you sleep. They have
Wow.
like aloe. They're infused with aloe or cocoa butter or shea butter or whatever. There's different ones that you can wear that actually are like a hair treatment.
And
It
you can
only
get
lasts for so long till you wash it, but still.
that on the internet, like off of
Yeah.
Amazon, or
Amazon. Yeah.
okay.
They have all kinds of different ones. I was thinking about getting myself one, but my hair is so short, I don't even need conditioner because, before my hair knows it could actually be damaged, it's already gone again.
Well, that's not true, because they make them for men too that have very short hair, and it just
Yeah.
keeps you from rubbing your hair all night long. The satin
Okay.
rubs instead of your hair, and so it helps with frizziness, dryness, matting, breakage. All that kind of stuff is really good for your hair. There's a
Mm.
lady that does TikToks and YouTube shorts that sells them, and because sometimes people say it's cultural appropriation for white ladies to wear satin bonnets. I don't
Come
know where that comes
on.
from. But this is a lady that sells hair bonnets, and she's like, it is not about race, it is about hair care, and encourages everyone to try a satin bonnet and just to see if it's for you. And you'd be surprised, it does help your hair.
Yeah.
I have enough hair that in the night, I'm getting choked. So I either pile it off on my head and I get breakage from whatever, even if it's a scrunchie with a velvet thing, it's still there's breakage, from just piling it. So I really like it because it keeps it out of my way, and it keeps my head kind of snuggy warm,
Mm.
like an old fashioned nightcap or something.
And you
It's
look cute in it too.
Yep.
that's not really my color. The only one I could find was hot pink. So
Right.
who's
Yeah, they
gonna
have in
see
so
me?
many different colors, and they're like in Germany, Amazon Germany, they're like $8.
Yeah, yeah, they're not expensive. I would expect to pay, $6 for one, and
Yeah.
then they do have ones that are longer in the back in case you have long hair or you're wearing braids or something like that, they have one with like an extension for a ponytail, so it's not all piled up on your head. But yeah, I love a satin bonnet. Since I've
Yeah.
been wearing one, I've noticed a difference.
Yeah.
Can I say something, when Tennielle, you commented that I don't know, with the satin bonnet, that it's only for, let's say, a certain culture to use, right? And that if anybody starts making use of it, it's like cultural appropriation. I personally I don't understand this whole
Mm-mm.
big deal about cultural appropriation,
Mm-mm.
because like let's say I traveled somewhere. I mean, I look at some of these ladies, let's say here in Montreal, who are coming from countries in Africa, where they wear these beautiful, colorful fabrics.
Mhm.
They're wearing these
Just
dresses, and they're so lively and colorful. I think, wow, that looks really gorgeous.
Mm.
Where is it like a bad thing if you then decide, hey, boy, I'd like to have a dress like that? Isn't that like a compliment, saying I really can appreciate the beauty of what it is that you do or what you wear?
Mhm.
Right.
I
And
don't understand that.
culture should be shared. We shouldn't all keep our culture isolated, because we're better together, and culture should be shared. You should
Exactly.
you should find interest in other people's ways and feel comfortable sharing your own ways. I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah.
Like people say, about braided hair. All different kinds of people have braided their hair since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Like Vikings did it, and I'm
Yeah,
sure cavemen were braiding their hair
yeah.
for
The men even braided their beards, right? I mean,
First Nations people. Everybody, different kinds of people have always braided their hair, and that's
Mm.
with lots of things. It's just people just do that, and I don't know why people get upset about it.
yeah, like
They get offended by everything. I recently watched Ricky Gervais Armageddon. That he came out with that in 2023, and I had to laugh so hard. He said humanity used to be able to fight each other in wars, like ground wars, not planes, but ground wars. And they survived so many things on this planet, and now words hurt them.
Right,
No, they can't
right.
even handle statements anymore. I'm not
Yep.
into all of that. That's why I say things like that with Syrian people. I work with a guy from Syria. His name is Ahmad, and we have so much fun. And he speaks English. And there are so many people from Syria that are nice, but the ones that I was talking about downtown rammed their shoulders into me because they disrespected women. And that doesn't mean every Syrian does it, but that these guys did it.
Culturally, it's more prominent when you're
Yeah,
around those people. Yeah.
yeah.
but also the problem is that, like as you're mentioning, maybe not all Syrian men are like that, right? But
No,
those who are going to behave well, they're not going to stand out and draw attention to themselves,
no.
because they're just being respectful and
Yeah,
decent human beings. So
yeah.
unfortunately, because the ones who are much more aggressive, right, are the ones who draw the attention, then people then start making judgments and conclusions of, well, they're all like that.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
unfortunate.
And I told Ahmad, I said, they're giving your culture a bad name. And I'm not one to say this culture is like this and another culture is like that. I don't think that way, but a lot of people do. And they're downtown and they see the same things I do and
Well,
experience them. I just,
in my part of the world, we have a large Latino culture, and I love it. I'm glad we have the Mexican stores and the restaurants and the food trucks and all the stuff, the bakeries. It's a lot of it is the food, because that's what that's what I'm about. I'm a housewife when I'm not a professional cook. So I'm of course aware of and often go into little bitty farmers markets, grocery stores. I'm looking around places that are not Walmart and not Brookshire's, or whatever, uh, Aldi or whatever big grocery store. I always like to look at the little ones and patronize the little shops and the little stores. So that is really nice, because the Mexican people will open a shop that is just produce or just baked goods or just a meat market, and that's what I'm looking for, as far as like someone who wants good quality produce and meat and stuff. I love all the shops. Their shops are superior to other shops with the beautiful fresh produce and stuff that you just cannot get at the regular grocery store. And, everybody's really friendly. And if they're not friendly, then they just don't interact. They just opt out of being, interacting, and they just keep to themselves, or they're very friendly and nice. So, I don't have a problem with that. I've never had a problem with any kind of. America is a melting pot. Most of us don't even know what our nationality background is. And if we do, we're all mixed up, because Americans are all mutts. We all came from everywhere, and we all mixed up and went all over this huge country. And nobody can really say, unless they get a DNA test, we're all just different mixtures of everybody that's here. So I
Yeah,
don't see why there's any problem with anybody, because
yeah,
nobody'd even be here if we didn't all mix together like we have.
exactly. And you know what I found funny when I was working at Walmart? That was my very first job back in March 2007. And there was a Mexican guy there, right? And he heard that my name is Sabina, and Sabina is neither a typical American name nor Mexican name. And so he said, Sabina sounds like subpoena. I said, and he said, from now on, I'm gonna call it. This was in the stock room, right? This was not like, higher up job. This was in the stock room. And he was like, I think from now on, I'm gonna call you Subpoena. And he yelled at me, Subpoena, can you get this and that? And I walked up to him and I said, I give you one more chance. If you say Subpoena to me one more time, I'm gonna call you Paco from that point on, right? Of course, it stuck. They called me Subpoena, and I called everybody from Mexico Paco.
There's been a lot of times in my life that I have been working somewhere and I was the only white person there, or definitely only the white woman, the only one, in the whole plant or building or whatever I'm doing. I've worked in service all my life, so I'm always cleaning, cooking, serving for other people. And a lot of times, there are every other kind of people around doing those
Yeah.
jobs. It's the jobs
And
I've
I
always.
love the ones the best, no matter what country they're from, but they have a sense of humor. I have the best time with them.
And I am so much more comfortable with people that I've met in that capacity than I ever would be at, say, the function we're serving. Like,
Yeah.
on the rare occasions that I do go to something fancy, I find myself gravitating towards the staff, wanting to go into the servants' entrance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a fancy lady. I'm the
Yeah.
one that, has been serving, and I notice the staff and their name, and I'll
Yeah.
talk to them before I'll talk to the guests,
Me too.
and I wind up out back smoking a cigarette with the bus boys and the waitresses, and getting to know them. That's just how I've, always been. But you do find so much more interesting people when you're not close-minded like that, when you
Yeah.
look and see people are the same on either side of the counter,
Yeah. Yeah. I love Amish food too. And in our last live stream, we were talking about sourdough bread. And I actually went to an Amish place in Virginia that was like an hour away. And they had the best butter, but they did not make sourdough bread because Americans wouldn't eat it, they said. It wouldn't be worth it because it's so much effort, it takes time to make it.
I can occasionally find, my husband really likes sourdough, and I can occasionally find these little rounds sourdough. They're almost like English muffins, but they're sourdough rounds.
Okay.
I can find those every once in a while, but I can hardly
It's
ever
so
find
great for the digestive system. I don't have sourdough bread every day. I also have croissants or, Kaiser rolls. But when I have sourdough bread, I feel that things are really moving in the right direction.
It's good for you. You can tell when you eat something. You can tell if it agrees with you.
That's cute. And I feel comfortable. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I've never gone out with somebody or dated somebody or been interested in somebody that was kind of high class and wealthy and traveled in those circles. I always do feel out of place in fancy situations.
If I can share something, in the neighborhood where I'm living, there are a few families that have tremendous wealth. One family is even the gentleman is a billionaire, and we've in our community we all interact, right? It's like people will go here for a Sabbath dinner, people will go there for a holiday meal, that sort of thing. And I have been in some really, gorgeous mansions with very, very, what you would call upper class people in terms of their speech and how they conduct themselves. And you'd be surprised. They can be very, very down to earth. In one family, they've been good friends and close to Reuven and I since, it's 30 years now. We would sit down to a dining room table, and the most gorgeous, fancy cutlery and crystalware. And there were our two little boys at the time. I think one was maybe about 4, the other just going on 6. And, everybody very proper at the meal, except for our little boys who were slurping their soup. And after the meal, the gentleman got up and, the boys were running and playing around and he was chasing them. And here, they went into the sort of like, I guess the salon where most people will come in and sit down, and gorgeous, like custom leather couches. And he just like jumped over them with his shoes on, chasing the boys, and like really down to earth, no stuck upness, you know what I mean? Looking noses at you. So I hear what you mean, but like once again, like when we're talking about how we have an impression of certain cultures, right? Because like the bad apples stick out, so that's the behavior we notice. I think sometimes it can be that way too with people who are tremendously wealthy and
True.
come from the upper classes. They can be really nice people to get to know.
You're right.
Just like you can have people who are, let's say, in middle class or lower middle class or working class, and they can be really stuck up and miserable individuals too, right?
Yeah. That's just my personal reaction to when I'm in situations where something
But you probably do what I do. You scan their energies. Like I
may
always say, like
too,
at work, I treat the cleaning lady, or Ahmad, he's from Syria. He cleans, and I don't care if he cleans or if the general manager. I treat them the same way. But when I approach somebody, and I approach people the same way with courtesy, I'm being nice, I'm being respectful. But when I was, in those circles, and then you can just instantly tell somebody's uppity, somebody's stuck up, entitled, a Karen,
Yeah.
And then
by the way they treat other people.
yeah.
I often in a situation where I'm not quite sure how to act, I will just be still and quiet and watch other people. And I naturally gravitate towards kind and understanding and friendly people. If somebody's rude to the staff, they're probably a rude asshole all the time.
Yeah, that's a big turn off for me. Like I see sometimes, you think about people going out on dates and people say, oh, you want to have a conversation with that individual to get a sense of who they are. And I think it's really easy. Watch how they're driving, like how inconsiderate or considerate are they on the road? How do they behave, let's say, when they're going in and out of a building or a restaurant? Do they bother to keep the door holding it open behind them for whoever's coming in, right after them? How do they treat the service staff when they go into a restaurant? Are they polite and considerate, please and thank you and all of that, or are they just rude? You don't have to even have sometimes that further conversation. Just watch their behavior when they're interacting, and you get a lot of information that way,
How do they leave the table? How does the table look when you leave? Did you leave a disgusting mess, or did you tidy up to make it a little bit easier for the busboy to collect your dishes?
Yeah,
those
exactly.
Speak volumes. They do.
Yeah.
A lot of younger people don't do that. They don't tidy up like their table, and that's something that I always do. Just
All these CEOs that we've been having for years now, how many was it now? 4 CEOs in 5 years, and each one of them was different. And the last one that I said to, how do you still sleep at night? And he's like, the numbers prove us right. He's the worst. The others were not as bad as he was, but he's doing the most damage. But they're all in the same. They all had the same position, CEO of that company, of that global company. But he's the worst, and the way he leaves the conference room behind when he leaves, you can tell he doesn't care.
That's awful, eh?
I just read Rachel's comment about Chantel and the cheese. Ah.
Lisa Vini, you should always treat people as you want to be treated, right? And manners should be universal no matter who you are. Exactly. And I
Yeah.
was treating people in the Walmart stock room with the same respect, except for the Pacos. No, we had fun. That was humor. That was not racism. That was just humor based on racism, and nobody minded. And if
Yeah.
anybody had minded, they probably would have said something. But we were all just having fun. But I think it's when it comes, from the heart, and people can tell that you are not a racist, and it's you can just tell. Like I also worked as a hotel receptionist. They called it a front desk agent or something like that, in Virginia, and the rest of the staff was dark skinned. Is that still appropriate to say? Dark skinned.
I don't
and when
know.
they and when they hired me, they did that on purpose. I was probably the token white, but I wasn't just the token white. I was also the German with the big mouth. And so when when and they noticed that. I mean, at that 7-Eleven, I told you guys the story. Okay, and then I go back to that other one really quick. At the 7-Eleven, it's about 11 p.m., and a guy walks in, dark skinned, with a teardrop or several teardrops, I can't remember, tattooed. And he walks in, and he must have been at least 6'7", because I was standing on a
Oof.
on a thing. So I
Like a
was actually looking
platform?
down.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah,
Like
yeah, on a platform. And then the counter in front of me, like at a 7-Eleven. And so he walks in, and he says, "Give me a blue tube. Give me a give me a blue tube." And he meant the cigar that comes in a blue plastic tube, right? And I heard in my head glue tube, because I was so tired, and I knew I would still have to drive 45 minutes through the forest. I mean, a highway, but forest with deers in the
Mhm.
darkness. And so I was so done. We had gotten the shipment that day. And so I started giggling, and I said, a glue tube. That is so funny. And he said, "Do I look like I'm joking to you?" And he had the most hateful eyes. And I was still giggling. I couldn't stop giggling. And I said, "This is how I'm gonna go. I opened my big trap one last time, and you're gonna bust a cap in my ass." And then he said, "Nah, nah, I'm just messing with you. They told me you got a big mouth and you're from Germany, so I had to come in and mess with you." And then at the hotel, Obama was being inaugurated that day, when I was counting the money, doing the credit card slips and everything. And I had my lower lip stuck out. Sometimes I do that when I focus on something. I do this, you know.
Mhm.
And so I'm standing there at that counter of the hotel reception, and I do that. And the dark-skinned general manager that I trained walks up and goes, "You're just mad because you got a black president now." And that's the kind of thing, it would be racist if you take it out of context. It's a racist remark, right? Like, she says this to the only German, not German, the only white person that works there. And I said to her, "He's not my president. My president is in Germany. I'm a German citizen. I respect your president, but I'm not sticking my lower lip out because now we. But these things, I find them funny. I don't find nothing racist with them, because she made a joke. I didn't take it the wrong way. And the same in other situations. Like when that guy walked in, I thought that was my last hour. That was my last, time I opened that big trap, and it's gonna happen. And I told my daughter, and she said, "You better watch yourself at work," because it was a 7-Eleven in an area of town where people walked, if you know what I'm saying. They
Okay.
walked to it, and so. And once Johnny Depp walked in
Really?
Oh,
on an evening shift. He walked in, and he had that hat on that he had on with Jimmy Fallon,
okay.
that white brimmed hat.
Okay.
And he walked in, and I saw his eyes, and I'm like, "Holy smokes." I didn't say it. I just, moved my mouth, "Holy smokes." And he goes, and he just bought gum or something, few innocent items. And then I told my daughter, and she said, "You should have said something. You should have interviewed him." And I said, "No, no," when he's shaking his head. And so I went home, and I Googled it, and he actually was, like later, like a few months later, he was actually in Virginia filming something.
Wow.
I
That's
was in
cool.
his aura, ladies.
Hmm.
I don't have any celebrity claim to fames, I can't remember I've ever met anybody famous or anything like that. I've met some really rich people, but they weren't famous except, I guess, among other rich people and financial people and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you need humor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And British home humor is great. The drier, the better. I love a good
Oh, I
British
love
humor.
it too.
Check out Karen and Ruth. They are hilarious. They get in front of the microphone together and they talk to each other, and you can tell they have great chemistry. And they talk about
That's great.
Chantal, from the perspective of British ladies, and what they think of what Chantal and Amber are doing. It's hilarious. They need way more subscribers. Way more.
Yes, I love that. British humor is the best. It's the best.
Yeah, Ruth,
I
that
love Johnny.
the energy that he sent out, I cannot put that in words. I wanted to talk to him so badly because I had watched an interview where he said that life is so painful to him because he's so sensitive, and he can only bear it when he's using substances. And he's found that out about himself unless he's creative. So he pushes himself to be creative as much as he can be, so that he doesn't think of abusing or using substances. And that alone, he's such a sensitive soul. I watched the whole thing with Amber Heard, and I wanted to reach through that screen and shake
Oh,
her.
man.
For being the bad actress that she is, she should be ashamed of herself.
Mhm. Well, I heard that Johnny Depp kept a box. I think I can't remember where I heard this. That he kept a box with the um, costume with a Captain Jack Sparrow costume in it, and he called it Jack in a Box. So
Yeah.
it
Oh,
had the hat
great.
with the little dreads and the beads, and his jacket, maybe some boots. I'm not sure all what it was, but if he was in an area and there was a children's hospital or a
Oh,
hospital
yeah.
with a children's wing, he would put that on. And I have
Yeah.
seen some videos of him being an angel, just an angel to children with
What?
disabilities, children that are sick. He is just so
Oh, you mean
approachable.
an angel being Captain
Yes,
Jack
they're so
Sparrow?
sweet, so generous, so kind, and like treating them like totally like he would treat his, little niece or something, just like 100% real and genuine. And he is flattered that they're so excited to see him. And you can tell he feels like this is the least I can do is just come in here and be like, hi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
God
the
bless him, eh?
children adore him, they're so excited. And it's
Yeah, and
kind
they
of a
wanted to nail him
mixture.
in that trial, in that I'm sorry, I don't know who was talking.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Uh, in the trial, they wanted to nail him to how much money has he donated, and then was it his lawyer or who said that he donates a lot of time, and when he donates money, he does it anonymously. Of course, he does. He doesn't want the credit. He's a shy person, so he
Mhm.
has the money. He wants to donate it. He doesn't need for people to know that he did it.
Right. It was, I was just like, I had tears in my eyes watching him with that one young woman. And she wasn't able to verbally say how much it meant to her, but you could just see it all over her. She was thrilled to her bones that he come and spent a little time with her and was just friendly with her. Oh, it was so nice.
Yeah. Where did he come? He came to Great Ormond Street Kids Hospital. His son was very sick once, and in there when he lived in France. Oh,
Yeah, he
Kind
seems to
soul.
be a precious, precious person.
yeah.
They say Keanu Reeves is also an awesome person. Like he is
Yeah.
just an angel too. And he's just very humble and mild mannered and everything, but he's awesome like that with the anonymous charity and giving of his time and all that. Like he's donated so much, it's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, has anybody heard of Jim Carrey? One
No,
of the
just
last things I
lately.
heard from him was that he said
Oh,
he's made more money that he could spend in 20 lifetimes. Where do you go after that? And then that one show that he went to when he had that glittery suit on, and he said, "We this is all we are happening, or this is all just happening." I can't remember, but
I
he
don't
had
know.
some spiritual awakening, and then you didn't hear from him anymore.
Hmm.
Maybe he's doing good things behind the scenes, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Could very well
Or maybe
be.
he's just living a simple life. I think maybe after you're uber famous and uber rich, you might
yeah,
just want to go home and be left alone and like go fishing or something. I mean,
yeah,
I would just want to be left alone after a while. That would be
yeah,
just so it would be so tiresome. You can't do
yeah.
anything for yourself. You can't shop or go out or anything. What else could you do except for just kind of isolate a little bit, or just kind of reclusive?
Mm.
I would expect a super, if you're not the kind of person, like maybe he didn't realize what he signed up for, or that he would get as big as he got, because he's
Right.
like one of the
Yeah.
biggest stars in the world. That's why I kind of laughed when you said, have you heard of Jim Carrey? And I was like, everybody's heard of Jim Carrey, like everybody in the
No,
world. Everybody
like
wants to try.
lately, what
But
he's
yeah,
doing.
you meant lately.
And about Amber Heard, where was I with my sister the other day? And Aquaman, the poster was next to me, and I wondered, did Amber Heard ever make it into that movie, or did they cut her out? Do any
I
of you
think
know?
they say she was in there like just for 5 minutes and they cut the rest, right?
Yeah. I think she started off and then there was some drama and they dropped her. But I'm not for sure about that, but I'm thinking that's what happened.
Because if they fire Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, she should have been fired, definitely,
Mhm,
because he had not deserved what she put him through.
mhm. Yeah, Jim Carrey. Yeah, I haven't heard anything of him coming out with
No,
anything lately.
Kate, maybe not working, but I was wondering if he's had any more epiphanies that he can share with us. Like that, he was on stage and the background was black, and he said something about how he realized that he's just a part of the whole thing. He is so irrelevant. I mean, he's relevant in the sense that he needs to be here and do what he does, but he's so irrelevant. And I had that feeling once, and I was walking my ex-husband's dog, the rotten pit bull, and there was a storm going on in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and there were mountains all around me and grass under my feet. I had my shoes off because it's better to be connected with the earth, and I had that feeling that Jim Carrey was talking about. And that's why I made that video where if Jim Carrey wanted to talk, but I deleted it, if he wanted to talk, if he wants to come to Germany in disguise, or for me to meet him in Italy in some forest, I don't care. I would so love to talk to him about what that felt like to him, being a part of the whole thing. Like everything seemed like it was elements, like the wind, every piece of the wind that was blowing and the leaves that were blowing. It sounds just as insane as when he said it, but I wished I could talk to him about how it felt for him.
I think that things like that, like experiences like that, it's like trying to explain in words how to play a card game. It sounds way
Exactly.
more complicated than it is. I mean,
Yeah.
try to explain to someone how to play goldfish. You're
Yeah.
gonna you're gonna talk for 20 minutes trying to
Yeah.
explain how to play the most basic, simplistic little game. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of experiences are like that. We have them, and and then we try to talk about them, and it just
Yeah.
feels cumbersome and overly explained when you're just like,
Yeah.
it just felt this way, that there's too,
Exactly.
we have to
And it
use
was
too
like
many
it.
words to try to explain it.
Yeah, and I'm realizing that now because I'm the one that's typing the standard of procedures for every activity and duty we have at the reception. And oh my God. And then you go to this panel and then you push this button 4 times and this one time to get the door to open. And every activity that we have, I'm putting in the words. Horrible.
Yes.
But
When you could
somebody's got
just
to do it.
Right. When you could just walk over there and do it and then like, have a little video of you doing it or whatever. And you can explain it so perfectly with no words, but you just fall all over yourself trying to just explain the simplest thing sometimes.
That's what
I'm a
I
very
said. Can we just do videos? And then they said no, because every standard of procedure, it's a form and it has to have a number. And then when
that'd be
new
too
people
easy.
are and when new people are being trained, then you just refer to this form or you have them sign. I read and understood this form. So complicated.
Yeah.
It seems very backward, no? Let them sign something that says, I watched and understood the video. What's
Exactly.
the difference? You know?
Yeah.
Especially
And I
because
didn't
many
blink too
people,
often. I didn't miss too much.
yeah, especially because many people learn better, right? When you can visually see the steps that are enacted, right? As you're pointing out. It seems
Yeah.
so antiquated, right? The bureaucracy of,
Yeah.
of making sure everything is by paper,
Yeah.
you know? There's a
Yeah.
reason that technology advances is because it helps us. So make great use of it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
If
Lemon
y'all
tree, absolutely not. I was not taking any drugs. I was not drinking any alcohol. It was just the peacefulness of it all. And they also say that there's a magnetic effect in the mountains. And I lived in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And every time we drove across the mountains, you could tell like everything in your body vibrates differently, like calmer, more connected to nature. Now that sounds like DMT too, but I was not on anything.
You know, Sabina, I think you mentioned also that you were walking barefoot, right? And that there was like dew or moisture on the ground, right?
Mhm.
And so because we've got the electromagnetic conductivity when our skin is in contact with the ground, water, of course, on the surface of your skin is only going to increase that flow of the conductivity, right? So
Mhm.
I'm sure that helped also.
Yeah,
It
and talk
also
about
helped when I
grounded.
walked through the what is it called? Where water flows.
A
Not
stream?
river.
The
Stream.
creek. I
Yeah,
say
my
creek.
ex-husband called it creek. I'm not sure why. I would have called it a stream. And I
Yeah.
stood in there while the dog was he had a long leash, right? And he would walk around and it was hot in the summertime. I cooled myself off. That was nice. With the tiny rocks under,
Ah,
the
yeah.
rocks that would move and the sand. Oh,
That's so good, eh?
and
Yeah, I
I
say
miss
creek. We
it.
have
And every time we
creeks.
drove towards Washington, D.C., I could tell that all the rays, all the Wi-Fi and everything was just going through every cell of my body. I was glad when I got to drive back home.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always barefoot too, Kate. Oh, absolutely, as much as possible.
Well, I have to be kind of selective about that. We have things that bite, and we have sticklers and briars, and we have fire ants, and we have
Oh, fire ants. Oh my gosh.
yeah. So yeah, barefoot's great, but only in some areas where there's not a half a dozen different things that's going to attack your foot.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's like for people who live in Australia, I can't imagine too many of them who are, let's say, outside of like the populated metropolises walking around barefoot
Right.
either, right?
Right. Yeah, it'd be a little bit unwise to just go
Yep.
tromping around barefoot.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the beach or at the creek or whatever, that's always nice. The river.
And I always loved it under the pine trees, because the pine needles were there until my
Yeah,
boyfriend said
there's
to me,
ticks.
"You must be into ticks."
Yeah,
And I
there's
said,
Mm.
ticks.
"What?" And he said, "Look at your feet." And I looked down and they were crawling over my feet, a couple of them. And I was like, "Why?" And he said, "They get attracted."
hmm They're attracted to light colors. If you're wearing white shoes or white socks, they're going to instantly come to
I
that.
was barefooted.
Well, you got white feet.
That's correct. But I didn't know. I love the feeling, of the pine needles and then it's all soft.
Yeah. And
It's
also,
just,
I think when they're dried and then they crunch, right? When they break apart,
Mhm.
they release a little bit of that pine oil. And so you have that nice pine scent around you too. Wow,
They're
it's
mm.
so
very
good.
flammable. They're a great fire starter.
Yeah.
But they smoke so much.
Yes, they do.
The
And
pine
you
wood
went
too.
under Fort and needed a booster seat. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. Goodness gracious. That's funny.
Yeah. That was in the summertime. But it was, that there was so much shade under because they're old. The pine trees. It made no sense to me.
Well, it depends on how much of a piney woods it is. If it's just exclusively pine and they're pretty closely packed, that's kind of barren. You're just getting pine needles and pine duff and pine cones and stuff. And there's not a lot for critters to eat in an exclusively pine environment. Of course,
Yeah.
if you've got the undergrowth and the brambles and all that and some mixed in different hardwoods and stuff, it's different and can support things. But the way they grow pine trees here in the big plantation, it's just row and row like a crop. It's just row after row of, pine trees at different stages, depending on how old that crop is. But there's really not much going on as far as wildlife in those exclusively pine plantations. You need like some mixed up bunch of different local native scrub plants going everywhere for everything to eat, and
Yep.
there are some bugs that get in pine and there are some birds that eat them, and there's some pine nuts for the squirrels, but that's about it. You're not going to find much else because the grass won't grow.
You can feel the heat of an approaching dog and they jump on from the long grass as the dog passes. My dog picked up a
I have
couple.
seen them on the end of long grass waiting with like two of their little legs sticking out. They do definitely crawl up a stalk of grass and just wait for something to pass by for them to grab on.
Yeah. Hey, girly girl. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Everyone. I hope everyone has a healthy and prosperous new year.
Amen. Yeah.
It's going to have to be a good one. Aliyah is back on the internet, all active on her channel.
Yeah.
I'm trying. If not now, when, right? I got to get over my little hang-ups.
Now is the only time there is. Now is the only time we have.
Yes, exactly. No, that's very, very true, right? We have to appreciate it and cherish it and do the best that we can with it.
It's always great to plan and to look forward and to have goals and to have things to look forward to, but not at the cost of the moment.
Right?
Oh, speaking of looking forward to something, Aliyah, I was watching your video about upcoming things and the journal prompt. I was so hoping, because I'm not into crafts at all. I thought it would be something like the self-love workbook that I have here, where you get journal prompts, actual writing journal.
Oh, okay, writing prompts so as opposed to
Yeah. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm not good at that kind of stuff.
But you could find there are tons of channels, I think, and if you can either check on Twitter also if you're active over there, that will have writing prompts that they send out regularly.
If at all, then I would have wanted to do it with you.
Well, you could still do it and just do it your way. Like why follow one person's idea of what to do? Say, hey, you know what? I like it, but this is what really resonates with me, and so I'm going to participate, but I'm going to do it like this. And if someone wants to watch, great, and if they don't, okay, that's their choice. Why should you limit yourself?
Do flowers, do a flower bouquet in watercolors. What am I gonna do?
So then don't draw. Use that prompt in your words.
Yeah, oh my God, no.
Let's say you're talking about flowers. You could share the story. Let's say write it down in your journal about your memories of walking in the woods and how spiritual it felt to you and how it energized you, and how the beauty of nature makes such a difference for our health. I mean, you can always twist a prompt. Hey there. Oh, Norma.
Oh my gosh, I haven't been checking that song. Good life too. Right. Oh, there she is, the Queen of Serenity. Hey, Norma Jean.
She looks so cozy there, eh?
She doesn't like to be held.
Oh, no? Oh, okay.
No, she's not a lap cat. She doesn't like to be held.
You and Karen are going to have to join eventually. One day.
Does y'all remind me of Charlie's Angels?
Come on, my accent and you guys' accent, and then Tennielle with her southern accent, and then Aliyah with her abode.
A boot. I love it.
Abode. I only hear it every once in a while.
Yeah, me too. Very, very light.
What is that? A Canadian accent I've got?
Yeah, you do.
Sometimes.
Ooh. I thought Canadians were the only ones who didn't have accents.
Right.
Don't
Right,
we all
eh?
think that, eh?
It's wherever you're at, right? Do you always talk in an accent?
I don't.
That's very funny. That's cute. That's a great thing, isn't it? About like the technology we have now, how you can connect with people like
I
all
know,
over
it's
the
a
world. Right?
miracle.
It's
It
so
is
nice.
cool.
You get to meet so many people, learn about their different lifestyles and their cultures, and the the beauty of the places that they're living. I mean, we can experience
British,
so much.
okay. The British people spawned the language, so they are the ones with no accent. We all twisted it around, I guess.
Yeah. But they make up words. What did Ruth help me? What does Karen call Great Britain? Blythe? From the good old Blythe? And I'm like, gotta Google it. And then it's sure enough, it's that's the British expression for Great Britain.
Well, hey, now Germans have words that no other cultures even have. What is that great word that y'all have for when you're
Schadenfreude.
listening? Yes, yes.
What was that? I missed it.
Schadenfreude. It's like when somebody walks by, they stumble and fall, and you're laughing. Like,
that is a fantastic word. Schadenfreude. That's how I feel at Amber and Chantel all the time. When they have some kind of misfortune, I'm like, that's that word, Schadenfreude. That's what I'm feeling. That's great that you have a word for that.
So Tiger on Vaseline says, I have a Canadian accent, eh?
Hey?
Lady. England.
Oh, a lot of Americans can't tell the difference between Australian and English accents.
I can now because of that Australian doctor in House MD.
I can. In just a few words. I don't have any problem telling the difference.
There she is. That is
Oh,
Karen. That is Karen. You know the channel name, and she's with Ruth Tiger on Vaseline. They're like the humor gang. Oh my god, you gotta.
I'll be going right over and checking.
I've got to go check them out.
I've been seeing Tiger on Vaseline and having fantastic comments. Yeah. But I didn't know it was Mavis and Butthead. But I'm definitely, and I love the play on words because I'm a Beavis and Butthead fan from way back, from the very beginning when Mike Judge just first started doing that on MTV. I've been a fan since the very beginning.
And look at that. Doesn't know anybody in this entire group except for Ruth here, Tiger on Vaseline, and calls us sexy ladies.
Ooh, I guess it's just obvious. It's that aura. It's the aura, Sabina. Like you're always saying, it's our aura.
That's cute. Rachel says that when she was a little girl, she said she was going to marry an Australian because she loved the accent.
Yeah, I love the accent too. And I have to say, I had a crush on Crocodile Dundee back in the day. I thought he was the shit. I could not get enough of Crocodile Dundee. Then later I met my husband, and when he was a kid, he was like, oh, he was my hero. I was going to grow up and be Crocodile Dundee. But hey,
I didn't like him so much because he's so scrawny. I like more like Harrison Ford, like from Star Wars, like the But
like he was a skinny cowboy. He was a skinny Australian cowboy.
Silk and That's
great. Hey, if y'all want to know what I'm doing over here when I'm reaching off screen, I have my little teapot.
Nice.
What kind of tea do you have in there?
That is, half of it is just regular black tea, like English breakfast, and half of it is Earl Grey.
Oh, sounds nice.
So regular black tea with a little hint of Earl Grey.
Oh, poor Sabina.
Karen is killing me when she writes something now, and the same with Ruth. I can hear them say it in my head.
That's right.
Oh, but while I got you ladies here, what do you mean by Shazza? Shazza? I saw that in the comments, and you said it in your videos, and I don't know what you're talking about. What is Shazza? Like that.
What's that word?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, like Chaza?
Huh?
Like Chaza?
Is that how you say it?
Is that you'll excuse me, I have to turn my mic off apparently. Hold on.
I'm gonna run take a quick break. I will be right back.
Is that like the word?
No.
Oh no, she's using a different word. Okay.
No, and they write it like this, and they use it in the video too. Shanta. Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Be right
didn't
back.
get that. Look at that. The sloth. He looks friendly.
Does the sloth have a name? He does look cute, eh?
Yeah. Hey, I had no idea. Sometimes you use words I have to look up on Google. Not you personally, but people. Andy Ruth, hi. I'm from Australia at 4:50 a.m. Holy
Happy
smokes.
New Year to you.
Yes. The stoner and the king. Exactly.
Mention vibes.
You guys make my day. I watched 2 of your videos today.
Humor is so important, isn't it? No?
Yeah.
I mean, with all that's going on, it's so nice sometimes to just, watch something or listen to people who are just, having fun, shooting the breeze, joking about stuff, and you just lose yourself in a little bit of like relaxation and, yeah, we all need that. I think it's so good for our health.
Yeah, but these 2, see, I'm a little bit jealous because my sister is 1.5 years older than me. She has gray hair, but long hair, longer than Tennielle's. And we have a chemistry, like sometimes we read each other's faces, but she won't come on camera with me.
Well, that's, a lot of people do not want to do that, and that's fine. And I totally
But Karen
understand.
and Ruth, they have that kind of banter, and I'm thinking, yeah, my sister and I in the car sometimes, and we hit each other, or I'm in the kitchen, she comes, rams into me, and I can't show you any of that.
Yeah.
My husband and I, he doesn't want to be on camera. He's not interested in being, on having an online presence. And we have so many fun, hilarious times that I know what you're talking about. It's a shame that he is really funny, and I want to share it, but I always respect his wishes to not have that public. And I was like, well, I guess I'm special. I get all this comedic entertainment just for me,
Yeah. Yeah, I had that with our youngest son. He's going to be 22 in a month from now. And he and I, my gosh, we crack each other up and we get people laughing all the time. But he too, he doesn't want to be in a video. So
we thought about doing
yeah.
Did you guys know that?
Oh,
I didn't.
Hey.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know
it was you, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you told us it was you.
Okay, now we know. See, now we know.
Yeah, now we know. Now we know who you are. I'm glad you said.
I know you guys are. Your voices are enough. But you could join me on a live stream one day.
Do you guys know Mystery Science Theater 3000? Okay,
No.
well they spoof old movies, like they kind of sit and react to and make fun of old movies. It's been on for years. And the way they do it is the bottom of the screen looks like theater chair silhouettes.
Okay,
yeah. And they sit down, and it's the back of them in a black silhouette. And that's
Okay.
how they react to movies. And so I was telling my husband, maybe we could do something like that where you're just a silhouette, that we're just down bottom silhouettes in the corner, because it's still hilarious, because it's the audio react to the movie that's so good,
Yeah.
So that might be an option, just a silhouette or just an audio kind of
No,
thing.
she won't do anything.
Yeah, because
Okay.
people
And
can
it's like,
turn.
Girl World Ireland, like I don't ever have to see him. I still don't know what he looks like. But the voice alone, oh my gosh, it just cracks me up. When he goes tee-hee.
Yeah, like even here on Streamer, right? You can join and just have that little avatar show up, right?
Yeah, your little
Can't I do that right now?
be
If
in the
I
center.
turn off my camera, stop cam, see like this. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that.
I never knew that was you, Sabine.
Yeah, okay.
That
I don't
channel.
have a little avatar picked out, but yeah, I can do it too.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I'd have to pick a little picture.
Yeah, or you can upload then your photo that you use for your channel. You can have that then as your avatar, or people can choose like a symbol or anything if they don't even want their face shown, right?
Mm. I'm just showing this to Karen and Ruth so that they feel inspired to still come on a live stream with me. But I'm gonna stop mentioning it now. Every time I watch one of your videos or I listen to one of your videos, I'm thinking, gosh, this is like perfect kind of humor.
I'm gonna binge watch them when we get done here. I can't wait. I'm gonna check it out.
But where did that hamster go, Ruth? What happened to that hamster? Hamster Lynn? That was funny. Oh my god.
I don't see that.
You told us in the comments in what live stream or under a video. I had no idea. But now we know. We don't come on camera because the world is not ready for our gorgeousness. That's most likely correct. The voices are enough already. They kill me.
Dog ate the hamster.
Right.
Dog ate the hamster. Oh no.
You're kidding, right? That was a cute hamster. And they always had like eyelashes on her, right? Or the poop bun. But you still got the videos up though, right? You didn't delete the videos. That was hilarious.
I've got to take a look at that.
I bet Amber's really relieved all this shit happened. To focus off her, and the Mr. Snowflake interview is definitely shifts focus a little bit, so she can, I don't know, continue to order candles online or whatever it is she does for fun.
Yeah. Hi, Swedish mom. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. What a sad thing, isn't it? Like, to have income from your channel and the ability to do good things and nice things to help other people, and the enjoyment you have in life is buying candles and lots of journals that stay empty because you never use them. It seems like such a lonely life in so many ways, doesn't it?
If she wasn't so hateful and smug, you could really feel sorry for her.
Yeah.
But she makes it impossible to find your sympathy bone after you've watched her for a while.
Yeah, I used to feel very sorry and empathize with Chantal, but then when I heard about how she would trash other individuals or even talk to people in her chat or her members, I thought,
dox them, just give them all their information because she's mad.
Terrible person,
Edgar, I remember her. I even chatted with her. I can't remember what it was about.
Egg girl?
About something that Amber did, and she wanted to do a collab. I remember her. She was doing all the paintings. Haven't seen her in years unless she started a new channel. I wish Shannon would come back, Shaquana Jefferson. She was right all along. She got bashed for things that she was correct on.
It's almost like you just can't help but say. There's just once you become a reactor, it's almost like you would have this duty to say when they put this stuff out here for the whole world to see.
Yeah.
And that always makes me think, what do they edit out?
Yeah.
Wouldn't the
Oh my
editing
goodness,
room
yeah.
floor stuff be awful? If they're leaving this much in. But Chantel's notorious for just popping on live and word vomiting like crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
That last
Shaquana
one was
does.
a doozy.
And Michael B. Petty. At first, I thought, like when I first joined the Amberverse, I was thinking, why is he so bitter? What is going on with him? He doesn't let her finish any sentences, and I got really annoyed with him. And then I realized what kind of person Amber is, and then I got it, and then I appreciated him.
I
I
love
wonder,
that one where he did and he found the 24-hour vet clinic,
yeah, yeah,
and they actually had to
Yeah.
drive past it to go out to eat.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was some good investigative reporting right there on his
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, Ruth. That is exactly why,
Mhm.
they're so full of themselves, and I don't understand why. And if you had him in front of you and said, what are your good traits? Like Amber tried to do it, she was asked it. And what did she say? Sensitivity or something like that.
Yeah.
And I said, that is all you come up with?
And doesn't she consider herself to be an empath?
Yeah. Yeah.
No?
Yes, yeah, she thinks she is.
Yikes.
She thinks she's attuned to other people's emotions. And I
Mhm.
Yeah.
think that she watches other people's the way they react and the way they display emotions so she can copy that. That
Hmm.
she's parroting emotional behavior because she doesn't really feel that way.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
sociopaths and psychopaths will do,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But that's not
Every time
empathy.
she gets into a situation where you would have to depend on her to be a little bit empathetic, she fails.
Yes. It doesn't cross her mind. You can tell there's lots of times it doesn't even cross her mind to react in a way that is typical in that
Mm,
situation.
Yeah.
mm. I need to go. Oh
Uy,
no.
gewesen
Good
mir.
good luck with that.
Yes.
Oh
And
my
Happy New Year
gosh.
to you, Sue. Take good care. God bless you.
Yes. Happy New Year. I'm glad you came on and talked with us.
Uy.
I've had that problem too. They can get your card so many ways. They can just tap it. So if you don't have a wallet that is protective of someone tapping your card, you should get one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
an RFID, radio frequency, what is it? ID wallet, I think they call them, right?
Yeah. I got
Yeah.
one and I keep mine
Yeah,
in
me
there
too.
now. I had 3 different times someone hacked my account and they would hit it for $110 to a PayPal account. And they did it over and over and over every few seconds until they got caught. So it was like
Wow.
$3,000 worth of charges. They just sit there and hit 110 over and over. And this happened 3 times in as many months. And I asked them to counsel me on how to be safer with my card. Like, what am I doing? And
Yeah.
she said the main culprit is the card gasoline pumps, especially the ones on the end. Those are often, they have the spyware in there. And never hand your card to anybody. Say you're going to order food at a drive-through window. You don't want your card out of sight because they can just take a picture of your
Mm.
information or tap it. So you always want to have, so it's nice to have a little cash. So if you're in kind of a shady place, you might not want to use their card reader.
Right. Okay.
But they said, especially like in airports, if you hook up to charge your phone in a public charging station, then they can access the data in your phone.
Are you kidding me? That's what I
No.
did at the airport.
Yes, at the airport, at any kind of public, like Grand Central Station, something like that, if there are public charging ports, they will probably contain spyware. And also, they recommended that you get a battery pack and
Yeah.
charge it home and use that, or charge your battery pack at the public charging station and then use that after you disconnect to charge your phone. That way, they
Okay.
can't access your accounts and stuff through your phone.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it?
It
No, all
is.
the precautions you have to take.
Amber is imploding because she has no host to feed off
Mhm.
currently. I don't think Mama is entertaining her nonsense, no.
Right. I would think she'd have kind of a low tolerance of that.
But what I don't get is this. I mean, my relatives would have done something. If they knew what I do for a living, which is lying and eating myself to death, which is clearly the case, that's not me being mean, that is what she does. Why do they not say to her, look, You're doing this to the entire family.
You
What
know,
you know?
I wonder sometimes though, like when you look at, let's say, if you flip that and you say, does the person, do Amber and Chantel become the type of individuals they are? You know, it's nature nurture, right? Because there was emotional neglect, a lack of care, a lack of support and encouragement when they were growing up from their families. You know, like which came first, as it were. You know, but the argument to that is, I mean, you know, I grew up an only child. I didn't have any siblings to turn to. It was just my parents, and I was in, you know, an abusive situation for a very long while. And once you get to be mature and you go out into the world, even if it's just, you know, through work or through school, you're exposed to so many other things. There are ways and means that even if you don't have the money, you can get yourself help, even if it's reading self-help books from the library, or finding a, you know, a friend that you can discuss things with, so that you can work on whatever your issues are and develop into a better person. You know, there's no need to say, well, okay, this is the kind of upbringing I have, and so, okay, this is who I am, and that's it, that's all, you know, take it or leave it. You know, everybody has something in their past, some more traumatic than others, of course, but we can all do something to improve ourselves, especially when we have the benefit of other people pointing out to us what our shortcomings are. You know, we don't necessarily see them in ourselves, but when you, like Chantal and Amber, have thousands of people saying, hey, wait a minute, this is, you know, what's not great about your characters, this is what you need to do differently. You can't say, well, that's just one person's opinion and who knows why they're saying it. You've got a majority giving you the same message. Maybe you ought to listen and do something about it, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, trauma is not an excuse.
No,
it may
of course
be a
not.
reason. It might be a reason for things that you feel and behaviors that you notice in your house, in your own self, you know, and these are reasons that are from the trauma, but it's not an excuse to continue that kind of behavior, especially towards others or even towards yourself. You know, you have to work on recognizing, you know, I'm doing something negative, I'm doing something inappropriate that hurts others. And why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And let's work on this and see. You
Yeah.
know,
And
if
eventually you're gonna have to come to a point where you realize, how would that feel if somebody treated me like that?
but
And
I
I
think
was treated badly and it
sees
hurt
that.
me, so why turn around and treat others badly? I don't get that. Part of
Right.
the reason why I'm so kind and gentle is because I know what it feels like to be abused or to be disrespected, or, you know, all these things, and I don't want for anybody else that never has done anything to me to feel that way.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
always hated to see the way she took advantage of Becky. It's like she didn't even notice her until she wanted something from her. And she was just, after the way she treated Becky, I had absolutely no sympathy for her
Yeah.
forever
Yeah.
anymore. I was
Yeah.
done feeling bad for her. No matter what's gone on in her life, there is no excuse for her mistreating people like that. And now it comes out that this is her regular way she acts with the people in her life, like going all the way back to Casey, the way she treated him. And then now, you know, there's Crystal, and there's all these different clips of her threatening her with violence, like I'm going to smack her, or I'm going to choke her, or she better watch out. She knows better than that. That kind of stuff, you
Yeah.
know, and that's all the way back at the beginning. So obviously, this soft spoken, sweet persona that she started her channel with, which has slipped greatly, is not at all who she is. But you can
Mm-mm.
compare some of her earlier videos, and I'm just here because I want to be an inspiration, and I just find it so, you know, and then now it's like she doesn't give a shit. I mean, even her trying to be nice comes off smug and hateful and selfish.
Yeah. Nobody buys it anymore.
Nobody
No.
buys
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
No, but then look at how many views she got for that the talk where she reacted to the interview with her ex. Unbelievable how people still go to her channel.
I'm glad I figured out how to report her. You told me how to report her without
Yeah.
actually going in and giving her a click.
Yeah. Well, I like it better when you can give not just the reason, but also the timestamps, and you can type up a little bit of a comment. So when
Mm-hmm.
she eats and drinks and talks about Delta in the same video, I click on her video. I give her one view, but just to report her. And then most likely she's getting at least partially demonetized. At
Well,
least.
all advertisers cannot be happy being promoted on that platform. I mean, anything that's about health or fitness or self awareness in any form is not going to be happy being shown on one of her videos. Like it's her sitting there drinking buzz balls and trying to
Yeah.
pick out a set of earrings, and then it goes to a commercial for, like this new green protein drink that'll be healthy and help you. They're not going to want to be on Amber's platform with all that, bad eating and bad influence and stuff.
Yeah. There you go. There's the link again. I saw you talking about it
Yeah, nothing
earlier.
seems to happen. I don't know if you report her. I don't know. She would never say. So I don't
No,
know if
she
it really
wouldn't.
does any harm or not. She certainly wouldn't be like, y'all quit reporting me, because then we'd know it was working and double down.
That's probably why she doesn't mention it. I think she doesn't get punished as much as we would like to believe, but here and there, I believe they did snatch a mukbang or two, and that is a lot of money when it's one where she got a lot of views and people are still going back to that, like the shrimp gate, the shrimp mukbang, or the sausage fest. I mean, the titles alone. I went back. I was trying to look for a clip on something, and it was 2016, I think, when she admitted to having lied a whole bunch of times.
Mhm.
And when I
All
went
the
back to
things
that,
you
I
lied
saw,
about, or yeah.
yeah. And so when I went back to that, and I never click on the videos, I download them. That's how she doesn't get a view from me. I just copy the link address, and then I go over to a downloader and I download it so she doesn't get. I never touch the video. And so
Mhm.
when I did that, I had to look for it though, and I remembered what she looked like in that thumbnail from back then. And I read the titles, and she's been like, what is it called? The sexual innuendo, like
Hmm.
sausage fest,
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
watch me eat balls in bed, or something like it. It's just
Mhm.
disgusting. And she's been doing it from the get go.
And
From the get
every
go.
thumbnail, I think you showed in one of your videos, Sabina, every thumbnail for like a week and a half was her with her big fat mouth open, trying to eat some phallically shaped food of
Yeah.
some sort. I
Yeah.
mean, it was so obvious and pitiful that that's what she was doing. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
one after another, like a pickle and a cheese stick and a hot dog, one after another. And does she not
Yeah.
really think people are aware of what she's doing? Because that's
I think she
sad.
does it on purpose. I
I
think
think she
she's
really
dumb, but she
too.
does it on purpose, because and the part where she's dumb is that she doesn't understand that how it loses her respect.
Right. That's
And
another reason I don't think that the whole thing with Chantel is fake, because she took down the videos that would have made her money. People would still be watching those lives, and she took them down, so she's not making that money. And she's humiliated herself and her husband, and she can never take that back, and she can never live this down. I mean, it's going to
Right.
be like her with edits of poop on her face from now on. I mean,
Yeah.
she's just gonna. It's never going to stop.
yeah,
And I don't think that she would have done that to herself. She would have come up with some other big drama for them to break up and get back together over, because this is horrible. I mean, the I often am saying something about poo or whatever, because the real stuff that he said that was disturbing to me is highly disturbing. And I don't even really want to mention it
Yeah.
on your
yeah.
stream. You know what I mean? Just all the things he said, just horrible things he said. Surely she wouldn't have done that on purpose just for clicks. Surely not. And
No, and
where's the
people are
money going to
losing more
come
and more
from?
respect.
Right. So,
And now she's going back to him, and there was no chemistry to start off with.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't think so. I think what he was hinting at is that he went back to the clips. And there were a whole bunch because I remember distinctly when Amber said, Crystal knows better than to mess with me or to come at me when I'm hungry, or she's
Mm-hmm.
gonna get it. She's
Mm-hmm.
gonna get
Yeah,
it.
she's gonna get it. I remember that one.
And anybody that watches this live stream or the recording, you can always contact me behind the scenes. I won't say it here, but how to do things. I have step-by-step instructions I can send you. I mean, I won't tell everything I do to do things to make her wake up faster, maybe.
But their actual views, both of the girls' actual views are down to like way, way down. I think that last rage where Chantel was actually had him in the chat and was breaking up with him and stuff, not the one where she forgave him, but I think that one was like, totally legit. Like she seemed like she was really experiencing something very sad. It was a bad choice to come on and share it, but it seemed
And
like it was
talk to
real.
him. Talk to him while
Yeah,
he's in the chat and insult him.
yeah. So I
If
feel
they
like
had
it
things
was
to say
real.
to each other, why didn't they say, let's talk offline really quick before she makes a fool of herself even more? And she did. And I got it downloaded. I'm going
But
to
even
keep
on this one,
quoting
it
her
was
on it.
it was only like 600 people in there while
Yeah.
she was doing that live. And with
Yeah.
her platform, that's nothing. I mean, that's
Nothing.
just nothing at all. And
Yeah.
so people, whether or not they're buying these subscribers or not, their views are down to basically reaction channels and just a few diehards.
Yeah. I'm a very small channel. I mean, the other one. And sometimes Amber gets down to my numbers. Like when she's got the 10,000s. If I do, but I gotta do 2 or 3 videos in that time span. But she's very far down. She used to have like over 100,000. So as soon as she posted it, like a few hours later, 100,000 views.
Hmm. And now people are waiting on the reaction channel for that because she's so boring. You need the additional content.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't want to bash anybody, but I don't like the snipers. I don't like the ones that re-upload instantly because that is not fair use act.
Right.
It's not. And it also doesn't help the viewers because they watch the same thing, only they don't give her the view, which is probably why they do it, right? But
Yeah.
if I watched a reaction channel, I would want for them to take me by the hand so that
Hmm.
uh,
And
you
I
know.
want ones that don't even really show her, like you guys, Tyler's channel. He does such great edits and
Did you
music, and
watch
he
his
does
last
the little
one?
skits. Yes.
I love.
Who
When
is
he had
this?
Snowflake and he was doing Jimmy,
Oh,
well, it
okay.
was great. It was so good.
And then he showed the
Yeah,
bloopers at the end. He's getting better and better.
he is, and his channel is really enjoyable, and that's what I want to see, like to catch up on her BS, but not actually see her talking and eating and stuff because she's gross.
Yeah,
Like just looking at her, and Chantel, the sound on
yeah,
Chantel,
yeah.
my God,
What's the name of this channel you're talking about?
You
it's
guys
you
have to
guys
realize.
I'm
have to
sorry.
realize.
Type it. Type it. You
Yeah, help
guys
Aliyah
have to
out here,
realize.
please.
His name is Tyler, and he's in Lexington, Kentucky, and that was funny as long as Amber still lived there, but
Oh, they
now
could have
she's
been
gone.
neighbors, maybe, eh?
No, they were not. I truly believe she's suffering. They're both suffering. I think Amber and Chantal are both stewing in their own filth, and I don't want to be in their head for 5 minutes. I think I would lose it. She's decomposing whilst alive, and her thoughts must be eating her alive.
Oh, I like Unicorn Pondu too. Um,
Yeah, I love his voice.
Yeah, I like his reaction too because he snipes in there too, and he's gives her a few little good stings. I like those. And Girl World Island, boy, he is no holds barred. Well, he'll say whatever crosses his mind. I also like that.
I love when the dog walks in. What's the dog's name?
Yes, and he completely quits reacting and pays attention to his dog. Isn't that sweet? I
And
like it.
sometimes
Thank
the
you, Tennielle.
cats meow. Sometimes the
Yeah,
cats meow.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you guys have to realize that guy, Tyler, he is so talented. He's got original music. His opening music, I always sing along. That is
Me
the
too.
jam. That's the girl world jam right there. And he's edited it for, you know, how my girl drives me around. He just put mom in there. My mom drives me around. Yeah, he's great. He's a sweet little family, too.
Yeah. His girlfriend is gorgeous. Or are
Yes,
they
she
married?
is. She's very
They're not
lovely.
married.
I think they're married. I don't know if they're married or not, but they have that little girl, and they often are doing other things about gardening and cooking. They have other channels about
Yeah.
gardening and cooking, and Tyler shares recipes, and yeah, it's real nice. Sometimes he'll do a cooking video,
Yeah.
and his skits. He's just playing in his house and in his garden. You know, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Baby, I got the Vince, the Prince.
Oh,
There he is.
beautiful.
How do I make that bigger?
Oh,
Mm-mm.
so sweet. Oh. Does Vince like to be held and cuddled?
Yeah, I've trained him to tolerate my cuddles. He'll let me hug him and kiss him, and he tolerates it very well because he loves treats, and I'm the treat provider.
I've
There
trained
you
my
go.
older son like that, you know. He's 23 now, and it's like, yeah, ma, okay, you want to hug, you want to kiss. So I've told him, I said, do you realize that if each time you complain, it's going to take longer for me to let you
Mhm.
go. So if you just, like work with me, I'll give you a nice hug, and it's over much work with you. I got things to do, ma. Yeah, you have 2 seconds for your mother to give you a hug and a kiss. I was in labor for 33 hours with you.
And he's like, not in front of the fellas, Ma. Mm. I've
He's
always
big
got a cat
too.
somewhere. Where are you
We
going?
usually see him on the floor, but now that you were holding him, he looks big too.
Oh, he's a big boy now. He's grown up. Yeah.
They're all happy and healthy, eh? Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
getting
God.
bigger every day. I'm surprised he's not actually obese because he is a little treat piggy.
Oh, I'll have
Wait,
to
I
check him
thought
out. The
not the
ankle.
dangling ankle because he deleted his videos or made them private. Just the ankle?
That's an interesting channel name.
Well, funny story about the dangling ankle, right? Um, we were fans of each other. We had about the same amount of subscribers and left comments for each other, right? And so I figured I'm gonna join his like do a channel membership for $5. And at the very same time, he did the coffee thing for $5 every month. And so we kept giving each other the same
The
amount
same
every month.
$5. That's great. That's how you
Just yeah.
support somebody. You get it right back.
Yeah. The ankle.
You know, the 1,000-pound sisters are looking good. They've lost a lot of weight, and I haven't watched that show actually. Just seen the little video clips here and there of what they look like now. They seem both to be have lost a significant amount of weight.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody said they both weigh less than Amber weighs now.
That's not surprising.
Mm-mm. The ankle.
Just the ankle, and it's not the same. Okay. Did one of their husbands pass? I don't know. Have y'all heard if one of the 1,000-pound sisters' husbands have passed?
Mm-mm.
I
I
didn't
was busy
know.
saying something, and I still have my mic muted because I had been typing on my keyboard. But I wanted to say, what's great here in Canada with our Medicare system is that if somebody has lost a tremendous amount of weight and the excess skin is causing some sort of a really ongoing health issue. Let's say, for instance, you've got a lot of hanging skin on your stomach, and it's causing a lot of infections no matter how often you bathe or you clean yourselves. I have that issue, especially in the summer when I get just a little perspire just a little bit. It doesn't matter how often I take a shower or bathe myself. It's something in the chemistry of my skin. And so that skin removal surgery, when it's not cosmetic, but it has like a medical basis, is covered by our Medicare system, And like, I'm so grateful for that, because if I thought, oh my God, I've got to find, X thousands of dollars to get what they call a paniculectomy to remove that hanging skin over the lower part of your body, I wouldn't be able to do that, So for these individuals, like, the 1,000-pound sisters, I mean, my goodness, thank God they were making money somewhere, because what do you do then with all of that skin that is causing regular pain and or irritation?
I can't.
It's a real issue.
On insurance here in the States, several of them will cover the weight loss surgery, but it has to be needed. Like, you have to not just be overweight, you have to have conditions that will be improved by dramatic weight loss.
Right, like so whether severe diabetes or heart disease or high blood pressure. Right, yeah.
And sometimes, they'll do some cosmetic surgeries, like a breast reduction is often necessary on women for back,
neck and back pain.
And stuff like that. So if you're having a real problem, it will be covered.
Okay.
So, but I don't know about the post surgeries. I know they will cover the weight loss surgery with a letter from your doctor saying that it is definitely needed for your chronic health condition. Right. But as far as the skin removal, I'm not sure. Maybe if there was a secondary problem that could not be cured any other way.
Yeah.
And that might be covered. It would depend on your insurance, and they would try to get out of it.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure. Yeah.
They would try to get out of it. So it'd have to be like acute.
Yeah.
And not just discomfort, or, it would have to be an acute problem. So you're right. They probably have to come out of pocket for that.
Yeah. I mean, because how much excess skin must they have? No? When you lose hundreds of pounds of weight, I mean, there might be some skin shrinkage if you're eating a very healthy diet and you're very active, but no matter what you do, there's going to be something left, And when you think of the excess hanging, I mean, they must have like between their legs too. So can you imagine, let's say, the chafing and the friction and all sorts of issues that can cause, like with,
and the reduced mobility, and that's still dozens of pounds of not active body.
Yeah,
that's holding them back from being more active than that. Like you said, if you have extra skin in different places where it affects your mobility, you can't ride the bicycle, or you can't do the elliptical or whatever. If that's an issue,
or even go for longer walks or something like that, because it'll cause like infections, or if the skin is very thin, then it might even open up and like, gosh, yikes,
Yeah. Hey, Laura, can you post the link to your channel? Because by just L, I can't find it. And I'm in StreamYards, and so I can't just click. Or can somebody click on her channel and put the link in the comments?
I don't think YouTube allows that anymore. They used to. And for somebody to put an active link, you'd have to make them a moderator on your channel, Sabina. Like if you go into YouTube Studio, I don't know if it's in customization or settings, but there's a place where you can put another person's YouTube username or channel ID, and you can give them different degrees of moderating access, in which case they can then go in for you and post somebody else's channel link, Because otherwise somebody can type in the name of their channel, and then everybody else later has to go and look it up separately. But it can't be an active link. You're the only one who can do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even on YouTube. I'm on StreamYard.
Right. To add the moderator, you'd have to go into YouTube Studio. There's a place to do it there. If you ever want to know how, I mean, I can just hit me up with a reminder if I don't think of it myself. I'm usually good with remembering, and I can tell you where it is. Or I can show you in a video.
I'm there now. Customization, probably, right?
I'm not sure. It's either that or under settings. I don't recall. Let me see.
No.
But there is a place where you can do that in YouTube Studio. I don't know if it's or is it under settings maybe? Yeah, if you go to settings and then you go to permissions,
Community. I got it. Community.
It's under community. Okay.
So what do I do now? Standard moderators or managing moderators?
I think standard moderators can drop links in your chat box, whereas I think managing moderators, I think they have more access where they can, let's say, edit your video, edit the description box, things like that, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I wish I had Vince here with me.
He's too cute. He's too beautiful. He gets his way all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's too handsome for his own good. He's a little naughty boy.
Love underscore 84 underscore.
You then have to save the changes, and I'm not sure then if you then have to like reload YouTube to get the change to be live. I don't recall. I'd have to play with it to find out, but when you have a moderator on your channel, they can drop links for you. So like, for instance, let's say for your other channel, if you're planning on having, let's say, more live streams and it's busy and you're busy, let's say, reading the comments to interact with people, you can choose, it's usually a good idea from what I know from other people to have, let's say, 2 or 3 people that you have as moderators, so that if one isn't able to join, you might have somebody else who's in the chat who can then load the links for you. You know what I mean? Somebody that you trust, and you give them the permission to do that. Because, not everybody necessarily is going to be able to join your live when you're doing it, right? So you want to have a couple of backups maybe lined up, people who regularly participate in your lives where they can help you out.
Do you guys see yourself having a wrench now?
A wrench? Let me go to YouTube. Oh, it says I am now a managing moderator for this channel. I have to mute myself because I have to type a comment to see that. So hang on.
Love underscore 84 underscore.
Oh yeah, thank you. I've got a little blue wrench.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah, so who wanted the channel link? It was Frog Laura? No, Frog Lover Laura?
Yeah, but she's not Laura, you're not active on that channel anymore. The Frog Lover Laura.
No, she says it's love underscore 84. So I'll take a look. Hold on, and I'll be typing and I'll try to add it. Hold on.
I put it in love underscore 84 underscore and I still can't find it. There's one with 177,000 subscribers.
He does love this chair.
Oh, the pretty. His fur is so nice. The colors are so unique.
He sheds worse than anybody, even Norma Jean.
Yeah.
When I brush him,
he's got all the colors so that they're visible everywhere.
His undercoat is amazingly thick. I have to brush it like handfuls of hair out from his coat.
Wow.
Pretty blue eyes.
I can try to do it later. I'm working on my son's. He hardly ever uses this keyboard, and it does not have the underscore on it. So when I do the channel search, it's not calling it up enough for me. That's frustrating. Yeah. But what we can do is, Sabina and Laura, once the stream is over, I'll go to my laptop and I will look it up over there and try to narrow it down and find it. And or maybe what you could do, which would help out, would be copy the link to your channel, the URL, and then maybe send it to Sabina in an email. And that way we can find it much more readily, because oftentimes YouTube will, if you don't post regularly, and you search for someone's channel name, it's so hard to find it, Especially if you have like a similar name or title, Yeah. Is that Howard?
This is Naboo.
That's Naboo.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
right.
the big guy.
Naboo has more of like the spotty patterns, right, on his body. Okay.
He's like a giraffe. He's got circles.
Ruth, I asked Goose Chuck, her name is Peggy. I asked her to join the live stream, but apparently she couldn't make it. But the time difference is bad. She's on the west coast of Canada, on Vancouver Island.
Yeah, so
And
she'll be even 2 hours behind Tennielle's
Yeah.
time, 3 hours behind me. Yeah.
Yeah. But
So-
I love both of them, Goose Chuck and Orko.
Yeah. So let's say it was you were going live. You started at 5 p.m. your time, GMT, right? Greenwich Mean Time, Sabina, which was then 11 a.m. for me, 10 a.m. for Tennielle, and it would have been then 8 a.m. for Peggy.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, in BC.
If she partied it through the new year, she wouldn't have been up at 8.
Maybe she hasn't gone to sleep yet, too.
Did you watch her latest? I cried.
Which
I
one?
could not breathe anymore. The latest that she posted, about 7 minutes long.
Is that the one? Is that the one where she had the cup that said Chantel's
No.
tears or something like
No.
that? No?
No, the next one.
Oh, okay.
That killed me. Oh my God, that was so funny. Her timing on that was priceless, and she's just sipping those tears. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. No, I hadn't. That's the last one I saw too. I'll have to get in there and see her most recent one. But yeah, that her. So, how you doing? Fantastic. I am totally
See, it's not
here.
a long one. I wish. Wait, you guys, let me try something. I know reaction channels watch stuff while on a live stream, right?
Yeah.
Cinema layout.
I think they use OBS Studio for that, right? So that you can have a camera window open to you, right?
I think I saw Belinda do it here though in
Oh, really? In StreamYard?
I wouldn't know where though. Present, slides, extra camera, video file. I didn't download it.
Oh, so if you've downloaded it and you have a video file, you can have that playing then.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
But it was hilarious. Oh my God. You know about Chantal taking him back and what that is going to cause?
Oh gosh, Tennielle, your wingback chair.
Oh,
There's nothing in this house that can't be a scratching post, because if it can't be a scratching post, it can't come in here.
Okay.
This chair costs $5.
Oh, good for you. That's awesome.
So we have little guards, like the little see-through plastic guards on the edges of most of the furniture, or we've bought fairly cheap secondhand furniture, because when we're not here, they are going to do it. They will do it.
For sure.
So nothing leather, you know.
It's just in their nature. Absolutely. It's what they do.
And I don't want to ever get them declawed. So I don't bring anything in this house that I'm going to freak out if they punch holes in, because they're going to do it.
Yeah. Hey, when she says, "Hey, stupid."
Yeah, hey, stupid. Yeah, that's what she says. That's right. Hey, stupid. She seems so pleased with herself. Hey, stupid. How's that going?
Are you going, Kate? I didn't see the comment, but if you do, Happy New Year, dear.
Bye, Kate.
Only the best to you, sweetie.
Okay. We'll talk soon, Kate. Love you.
Reactor show channels live. I know, but see, I can't go anywhere on the internet and show it. It says here, present either slides. I could show you pictures, or an extra camera, which we don't need none of that. And then it says video file. Wait, or share screen. Screen sharing, it's easiest with 2 monitors.
Off to listen.
Let's just try. Select the tab to share. Not inbox. Chrome tab, new tab. But then I don't know if you guys can hear it. Just let me know. We can just try it now so that we know for
Absolutely,
future.
for sure. That'd be cool.
Goose Chuck. There she is. Oh my God, with the doobie. Is that the latest one? Yeah, 5 hours ago.
Yeah. I thought I saw that one. Yeah, I hadn't watched it yet. It's good length, isn't it?
Okay, it's gonna play the ad. No.
Oh, that would be fun to watch together. Because I haven't seen it, and you haven't seen it, have you, Aliyah?
Nope.
Right,
No,
that'll
not
be
yet.
nice. I hope it works out.
Codependency,
You did it, Sabina.
absolute desperation that has her heading back to a dude that talked about grape, shitting on people, pissing on people, degrading women, religions, and everything. And she's just going to say, nope, they're just kinks. Yeah, in your super conservative fucking country that you can, I really like the conservative part of all this. It's really awesome. Those are now just kinks we just don't give a shit about. The fact that he had porn that he sent of thin women to people, to Kay Bella after talking for 2 days, dude went pretty fucking extreme, eh? Yeah, that seems, yeah. In a couple of days of talking, okay.
Oh.
And I mean, the first 40 years a child must have been hard for you, hey? Because I can't even believe this. This train doesn't wreck. Dude, the only time that train was on the fucking rails is when you were addicted to blow. So just look at this. You're sitting here stoned in your fucking Kia. We know you're stoned the way you're giggling and shit. This is 2 days after you found out, and you're still gonna blame because you have this hatred for fucking women, right? And you're going to excuse all of this shit. Dude, you said you were SA'd by the fucking gingivitis demon. And you're going to go back to somebody who was, it's just talk. He'd never do it. Yeah, well, he'd never talk to anybody. He'd never fucking contact people. He would never cheat. He did those things that you never did. But don't worry, you're going to be able to totally sustainably monitor his phone, his laptop, his computer all the time for the rest of your life. Yep, totally strength. This isn't at all desperation because you have nothing in Canada. Without Pete's, you have nothing in Canada. You haven't been even to a hotel once. He takes such good care of you. You're such a princess. Remember when he locked you in with a drain rat? Remember when he told you you must lose 100 kilograms and he gave you a fucking nudge for saying my big butt? He was eating chicken in front of you as you submissively sit in the background. Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally treats you like a fucking queen. Yeah, you're an ATM, dude. You're an ATM, and your fucking delusion is just trying to justify it. And this particular video was just a logical fallacy nightmare of you trying to figure out the story to convince yourself to go back. Because staying would mean you'd have to deal with your bankruptcies, you would have to deal with your taxes, you would have to be able to try to figure out how to get credit without Pete's to be able to go who you were secretly talking to. So not only did he lie to you, use his vanish mode and all of this shit, you've also lied to him. So yeah, this is fucking great. Yeah, I'm sure everything's gonna work out fucking roses. Yeah. Dude, if your brain was dynamite, it wouldn't be enough to blow that fucking hijab off. We can see you. We can see you. But whatever. Fuck, go back. Because at this point, your choices are going to be diabetic coma or strapping a fucking gimp mask with a funnel on it on your face. Because what's halfway between grape fantasy, religious degradation, piss and shit, and vanilla? What is it? It's chocolate covered, dude. You're gonna be chocolate covered. That's all it's gonna be. Okay, you're soft as fuck. Look at you. You're doughy as shit. Either way, you're going to have to eat shit, whether it's figuratively or literally. Because to think he's just going to instantly stop, oh my God, he deleted all social media. Oh, sure. Okay. So when he leaves to go to quote unquote work, you're going to monitor his laptops. You're going to monitor all of his stuff because he's going to be going, fuck, this is going to tick, 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 boom, man. It's a point. Like, she's not going to be able to fucking take this. And I'll deal with the consequences. Dude, you have never dealt with consequences because you've never made a mistake as far as you're concerned. You're so strong and independent and all this shit. You are the most codependent, fucking justified, delusional person ever. Like, your family clearly just is like, yep, go back to the guy you talked about, grape, and fucking spitting in faces and shitting in people and all this kind of stuff. And where is he? Where's Jiggle Tim Wigglebum? Where's the Wet Wookie himself? Where the fuck is he? I thought he was so strong and apologetic. Are you guys going to be doing videos together now? Your couples channel's just going to all of a sudden take off? Is that what the fuck is going to happen? Dude. Your guy is a fucking pseudo-dom criminal, just like the last pseudo-dom criminal that you're with that was taken by a fucking beezer. It's not the fucking reaction channels that are the problems, dude. It's your community that's the fucking problem. That's what you created. So, yeah, keep going. Keep fucking going. Yeah, he's taking great care of you. Great care of you. My God, I can't believe I'm so jealous. I'm so blinded by my jealousy. As blinded as you are by your desperation, codependency, and uselessness. Because what do you offer him? What do you offer him? Money. That's it. You don't clean, you don't cook, you don't fucking nothing. But now, strap on the Gint mask, girl. Get that funnel going. Because there's no middle from vanilla to great fantasy scat. So, yeah.
That last edit. Ooh.
That was great, Sabina. You figured out how to do it. That was perfect.
You're muted. You're muted.
Sabina. We don't hear you.
If you had said you couldn't hear her, I wouldn't have known what to do. And in OBS Studio, you can like change the settings or the volume for every little, for every video. Yeah.
So you did this in StreamYard, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. That's nice to know.
Mm.
Hey, can you take a poll in StreamYard?
What?
I'm just curious. I know they do that sometimes.
No, Zachary Michael does it, and I think he does it in OBS Studio.
Okay. I was just curious if that was available. Oh, yeah, it's happening again. The thing is, that's going to be one of the things that she has to pay now. He's either going to expose that she does like it or as a lie, or she's going to comply or something. I bet you that this is going to be a way that he has her under his thumb. Like, that this is something about me. And if you don't satisfy this, I'll have to look other places. So are you going to degrade yourself for me or not? Because if you're not, I'm going to go find someone else who will. Obviously, that's happening. That's what's going on.
Right, because a fetish can't be helped, right? Yeah.
If that's what she's rolling with, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that he has a secret phone? I think he has a secret phone all this time before she ever came over there the first time. I think he's got a second or possibly even more phone that she don't even know about. Yeah. And is keeping this up, has been doing this type of thing.
I still don't get the part where they proved that it was him. I know it was him. I know that they ran the voice through AI filters and figured out it wasn't AI. But why would he use his own name on Twitter or on these fetish sites? He can't be that stupid.
Apparently he didn't. Like the contact was made initially, I believe, on Instagram through his gaming channel. Instagram account. And then after connecting with the person there, I forget how it was phrased, but he said, okay, we're going to link up and I'm going to come on with my other channel. And that then had like an avatar that was just of, I don't know, some scenery or something like that. But it was clear from the fact that it had started with the image of his gaming channel that he owns the access to. And then the conversation naturally progressed and carried on with the other one, And then because his voice was the same on the original one, and then on the second one where he was talking, it was obvious that it was him, Yeah.
And he copped to it immediately. Like as soon as she was like, did you? He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that was me. He immediately copped to everything. So
yeah, except he said, I didn't send any nudes or, any picture.
Right, that's true. Right. And then
a few seconds later, what? He did? Mm-hmm. It's like, it's one thing if a person is caught out in something and they say, okay, I've made a horrendous mistake, and then you assess what that mistake is and whether they can be forgiven or ever trusted again. But if the person is saying, and you've convinced yourself they are spiritual and they're somewhat religiously observant, that's why he's so fussy about that tiny little bit of hair she has sticking out, then hey, if he's apologizing and saying he's so remorseful, he's so sorry he couldn't help himself, what's he doing lying to you yet again in the middle of that apology, only to be found out a moment later, right? There's no sincerity there, because if you're coming clean, you're coming clean, plain and simple. You're not still continuing to lie.
Mm-hmm. And when she said he told her he would rather tear off his arm than to hurt her, that kind of excessive visualization is violent in the extreme. And just that he is just using that in his sweet apology is disturbing. Like I would have never expect someone to say, I love you so much I would rip my own arm off before. That's odd. Maybe don't rip your arm off for any reason. Just the violent imagery is even in his apology. You can tell that he is suppressing violence. And I think it's because he's obviously a beta and he wants to be a dominant person. And he's obviously not. He cannot be that in his lifestyle, in his community, or even in his relationship. So he's looking for that fulfillment of domination other places. And that is like so scary and red flaggy. And again, if she's saying he can't help it, he has these feelings. Well, if he can't help it, he's going to keep doing it. Are you going to look the other way or participate and, defile yourself because he can't help it?
Yeah. And if I may say, like, she actually buys that he loves her very much. He takes good care of her. And the minute I hear her say that, I go back to, I don't know, it goes back ways, maybe like to the earlier this year, where they were filming themselves. It was early in the morning, and she said it wasn't quite so hot there yet. It was still something like 33 degrees Celsius, which is just under 100, on the Fahrenheit scale. And there she was, like, with her black abaya, right? Completely black, which of course is only going to attract more heat. And they're walking across the road down to the beach, and they're walking out onto the sand towards the water. And she was huffing and puffing, and she was turning red. And he didn't say, hey, wait a minute, you stay here. I'm going to go get you some water, or come with me. We've got to get you inside to cool off. He kept walking further and further and saying, come on, come along with me. I'm sorry. When somebody you really love and care about is in distress, you drop everything and you make sure you attend to their needs. That's not love. He's in this for the money or the clout or the ability to get into Canada because it's harder to get into the U.S. Maybe he wants to get into Canada, so then he makes it crossover. Who knows what? But it's not love. He hasn't demonstrated that in how he cares for her.
He treats her like a prize pig. That's what he treats her, like a prize pig that he's showing and gets some value from in that way. Look here, look, and patting her, just like a little weird pat. The weird half hugs they do, the way he was holding her head in that video, that was off-putting and weird.
Or that around the neck. I would smack somebody if they tried to put their hand on my hijab on or not. That was strange.
She's like, he opens the door for me. He hugs me. He's respectful of me. I'm like, yeah, you would do that to your second grade teacher. What's that mean? It doesn't mean anything.
Can I say something like about that respect part? I remember there was a time, right, when they visited it was like a cat cafe, if you remember that video, right?
Uh-huh.
Where you can either sit at the tables or you can sit down on the floor and the cats come around and whatever, right? And he was the one who was recording it. And if you remember correctly, the way he lined up those camera shots to show her with her legs spread and all of her excess tummy spilling into the middle, if he were at all religious, no religious man is going to film or show a woman like that, particularly his wife, who he supposedly loves. And he
What
was
sense
just
does it
doing
make
that
not
for the
showing her
money.
hair, but she can show her fupa?
You know, and if you come back with the argument, well, he's only doing that because she wants him to do this for her channel. I'm sorry, if he's a real man, if he's a real mensch, then what he's going to say is, you know what, sweetheart, this isn't going to be how you make money. Have your channel do great things, but I don't want you to degrade or embarrass yourself like this. I'll make up the money somehow. No, forget tearing off your arm. Go out and get 2 or 3 jobs, making deliveries, working in a stockroom. It doesn't matter what the work is.
That's right.
That's what a real
Do
loving
something that
individual will
means
do.
something. Yeah, not those empty promises. He would never literally do that. So it's an empty promise. So like you said, go get a job and support me. Don't just promise you'll pull your arm off. How weird is that? And he always shows her in a unflattering way. Every time he's got the camera and he's got it pointed at her, it is in the most unflattering way. And he makes sure to do that because that's his dominating, peeping out there. I'm going to make you look bad because I can. That's in retrospect, all of that stuff makes a lot of sense now that we know that that's what he's into, and that's what he's chatting to on the side, is people who will let him disrespect them. So when she hands him the camera, he disrespects her in that way. It's obvious to me that he
Gerhard Ireland pointed that out so often. Like he would swing over to her and she'd be like looking at him all mean, but he still wouldn't turn off the camera.
And he did it enough that she didn't have enough material to edit anything in there or out of there and still have a video. So yeah.
Bye, Swedish mom.
Bye. Happy New Year to you. Yeah,
okay. Did y'all watch the video where that Allah guy said something about like stayed on for a month?
Yeah. And you know what? I do not like how he kept. I didn't watch the whole interview, just his part. Somebody cut out just his part. But then I went over to watch it, and I heard some of the woman interviewing him, and he kept cutting her off. So it came through that he doesn't respect women either. He kept cutting her off, steadily cutting her off. But I have to agree with him. Number one, if Chantal stayed in Canada a few more weeks, that would probably cure him and he wouldn't let her come back. And number two, he asked for us to subscribe to his new channel. I remember him saying something, as soon as he gets 1,000 subscribers, he's going to spill the tea or something like that. Now he's saying he's not going to monetize any of his channels, but he wants for us to subscribe to the second one too. That's all I got. And he said that Salah does not have an income.
Right. That's no surprise. So what's he doing when he's working? What's he out doing? Just running the streets, doing whatever he wants to do?
But Tennielle, he's not working because he's with Chantal 24/7. She keeps reaffirming that. That's how she knows what he does at every hour of the day.
Constantly together.
24/7.
Oh, well, he has to do food runs. There's going to be those. And
but she also must at this point in time need a lot of support with a lot of physical tasks, even let's say personal hygiene, I mean, she's very short. She has very short arms. I'm sure there are certain, cleaning tasks that will either require the use of some handheld, brush or something like that, and or somebody else to assist her with something, right? Didn't she in one video a long time ago, like when she wanted to wear a certain pair of shoes, Pete had to tie the shoelaces for her, right? And it was interesting. And I think it was a clip from her forgiveness video where the language was sort of like a bit of a Freudian slip. It was very revealing where she said, he's very valuable to me. Not like I cherish him. I love him deeply. We're very no. He's very valuable to me.
He has
because one, he helps give content for her channel, so she gets more views, and two, because he's practically doing tasks for her. And I guess at the same time, he feeds her needs with these false declarations of love. It's very sad. Oh my gosh.
It is. It is. And even I can even remember, like, when I was pretty big pregnant, it's hard to do the dishes. It's hard to, do the laundry. Your reach is greatly limited when you have a large round stomach in front of you. You have issues doing regular daily tasks, not just personal hygiene, but your home.
Of course.
Tasks.
Right.
And so there's going to be a lot that she just is unable to do around that house.
Right.
As far as cleaning and cooking and stuff.
Right. She needs somebody who's going to be like an assistant, almost like a caretaker, not a full caretaker in the sense yet, but yeah, she needs real practical help.
Maybe that's what she was talking about in that one live stream where she said, I have to bees or I must bees. And she was complaining about so many things concerning that life in Kuwait. It was a few weeks back. And maybe that's what she meant, that she's worried that she can't be the wife to Salah that he wants. Because she needs help with things like that.
Well, just someone, an aide to help with a few personal tasks and daily housekeeping. Why is that such a criminal thing? How come these two women that we're talking about cannot, they can humiliate themselves in every way under the sun and just degrade themselves and frankly prostitute themselves for YouTube coin? They're willing to do anything, but they won't come down and hire a caregiver like many of us do in our lives. Certain times you need help. You can hire a caregiver to help you. What is the big deal about that? Why don't they just do that? One of the best things that ever could have happened to Amber is she would have took Miami up on her offer and just had her come for like a straight up caregiver. You get X amount of dollars a month or a week or whatever, and you will do these items for me and assist me with these things and do a little errand running, a little housekeeping, and help me a couple times a week with my personal care. What's the big deal? I mean, I did it for a living for years. I was a nurse's aide for years, and that's basically what you do. Just a little bit of this and that, help them with stuff, where they might be unstable in the tub or who knows. People need a little bit of help all the time, and I don't understand why they're too ashamed to hire a caregiver, but they'll admit, like in Amber's case, I didn't bathe the whole time I lived there. I never took a shower while I lived at Destiny's mom's house. I couldn't fit in the shower, and I never took one. My God, wouldn't it be better to say
she couldn't get her legs up. I think that the tub was too high up for her to. Maybe she had the edema already, or I don't know. But they could have helped her with that. And I'm thinking for both of them, they don't have the money. They need too much money for food. And look, if Salah is not working or if he doesn't have an income, then she's been paying for the flights and the traveling too.
Yeah. And probably their living accommodations, right? Their utilities, the car, everything.
Yeah, somebody posted the rent, and I think it would have come to $900, the rent for that apartment.
And if he has no income, there's no other way that it's getting paid except for her.
Yeah, and then she won't have the money to pay for a caretaker.
And then they go on vacation, they went to Taiwan or wherever it was they went, and she's paying for all of that. Yeah, Thailand, sorry. She paid for all of that, and then her flight over here, and then, you're right. She probably doesn't have the weekly money to support a caregiver.
I don't think so. I think priority number one is living arrangements, the rent or whatever. And number two is food, because that's the biggest addiction.
Yeah.
Right. And then
number two. Sorry. I'm sorry. My husband said that from the other room. I had to repeat it. Her number two. So,
Oh boy. Literally, eh? Yeah.
I wouldn't
right,
even
but
make fun of either one of them if they had a caretaker. And they don't
no,
even
me
have to
neither.
show it. They can keep it from us. They don't have
I
to
don't
show it.
even understand why that would be an issue of pride or shame. That's just a normal thing that millions of people need. It's a line of work. It's an honorable line of work. There's no shame there, and I don't understand why they can't be like, I need a little help. This is my helper. She comes in 3 times a week. Her name is Mary or whatever. There's your side character, Amberlynn, that you can leech personality off of. And it's a totally upfront, legitimate business arrangement. You don't have to fall in love with her and buy her a bunch of gifts. Just pay her damn wage. I don't understand why it's a problem. I never have. People
They
need
said in my
help.
comment section that it's an ego problem, that she doesn't want to admit it. I don't know why she keeps insisting she doesn't need help with anything and she can take Ubers and she can do this and that when she doesn't do anything herself.
No, and you never see her taking an Uber. And she would not neglect to block, show her, I'm in an Uber, there's my driver, invading their privacy and, blasting her own location and being an idiot about it. She'd be all about blogging in an Uber. She can
I
hardly
doubt
get in
that
the
she could
car.
get one. If I came around the corner seeing her standing there, I would drop that ride.
Me too. Me too. That's going to damage your vehicle.
And
And
the
she,
insurance, imagine you get into an accident and the insurance wants to know, like passengers or whatever, and you say you had a 600-pounder, they're going to ask questions.
right, and she can't conform to safety regulations without a seatbelt extension. And
Right.
I don't know what airbags are rated for, but it might not be that much. She could damage herself or others in the car. Like if you slam on your brakes or hit from behind or something, that's a lot of weight that is going to, cause the crash to affect differently. I
And
would
Mhm.
turn
she
it down too.
and she'd probably have to request like a particular type of a vehicle. Not all vehicles will have, let's say, doors that swing open
Yeah.
at a great enough angle that will allow her body
Mhm.
to maneuver to
Mm-mm.
get inside as well,
Mm-mm.
right?
Yeah, she would need like a van with a bench seat, which that's fine. If you need a van with a bench seat, there's nothing wrong with that.
But she
But
then
be upfront and order what you need. Yeah, and don't try and get into somebody's little economy car or smart car and blow the shocks out because it's not rated for that.
Yeah,
right,
and
but
she did it to Destiny's car. And I'm sorry, Aliyah. She did it to Destiny's car and she did it to Becky's car. And
Mhm.
I said at the time I would respect her more, and she had the money. She made over 10,000 US dollars, well over 10,000 a month. And she was riding the scooters at Walmart. And I kept saying, you don't need to be riding them. There are
Right.
customized scooters that you can get, and you can even ride the scooter to Walmart. But she didn't do it because she was too cheap, and now she doesn't have any savings, and that time has come and gone.
Yeah.
what I had just wanted to say was when we were talking about the kind of vehicle she can get in and out of, and Tennielle, you were talking about, let's say, a van with a bench seat. She might even have difficulty getting in and out of a van because, I mean, it's higher right off of the road. So
Right.
you've got to have the ability to climb with all that weight on your knees in and then out of the vehicle as well, too, right?
Yeah.
Mm,
Like the
yeah.
mobility problems, I mean, they just expand at this point, And I mean, she's had youth on her side up until now, but those joints are wearing away at a
Right.
phenomenal rate.
Right.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
the penny pinching is the thing. She splurges on food all the time. Did she need all these torrid clothes? No, she did not. She could have just gotten 20 tops or dresses for, at size 6 or whatever, and be done with it. But she kept ordering from them, and then she said she does it because she can write that off. But then she still ended up owing tax, so she wasn't having a tax advisor, and so it was all about the food, buying food.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it boils down to. She wants to do what she wants to do. And whatever she's got to say, she'll say it.
Yeah,
If she's got to exploit herself and lie and degrade herself on camera to get that food money, she's going to do it.
yeah,
That's what it comes down to.
yeah.
You know,
And eventually, she may wind up with nothing, living on assistance. and it'll be the same story.
No. Like a teenager that only wants to spend their money on what
Yeah,
I
exactly.
call the fun stuff and resents paying the
But
bills. Yeah.
her not having any insurance of any kind. She
No.
doesn't get, home insurance or renter's insurance or insurance from the contents. She doesn't get any vehicle insurance when they had a vehicle. She has, of course, no health insurance, no life insurance, no burial insurance, because she's like a teenager. She's not thinking about, she's not going to spend the money she could go out to eat on burial insurance. Why? She'll be dead. She won't have to deal with that. She's not going to pay for that.
Right.
So-
You'll give burden to somebody else and or like the public system, right?
Right. Somebody else will have to be responsible for her when she finally gets discovered. And that's going to be costly.
That will also cause damage to wherever it is she's discovered,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also depends on how many pets she still has with her at the time, because we all know what pets do when they're being left alone with a dead body. And they were talking in my comment section excessively about how you cannot even bury her. You have to burn her, but you have to cut her in pieces.
Yes.
You can't even, she won't even fit in that oven. And also they've had so many fires. One of the people in my comment section said she works for, what is it called?
Crematorium.
Right.
A crematorium, yeah.
Right. And they've had so many fires across the land because of
Too
these
much
people.
fat.
And they're having
There's
to
too much
figure
fat
out
in
ways
that.
to not have their building burned down because of another super
Mhm.
morbidly obese person.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what would probably actually happen would whoever was taking care of that would probably have her body donated to science, because that would be the cheapest, fastest, easiest way to deal with her. Because otherwise, I don't know how you would, because I'm not far from Oklahoma, so I'm expecting generally the same kind of funerary practices going on where she's at now that do here. And that's going to be what it comes down to. If she doesn't have all kind of arrangements made, she'll get donated to science and they'll cremate her and send her ashes to the next of kin.
Mm.
But even if you try donating, an individual's body to let's say a scientific organization or facility, they have the right to refuse as well too. It's not automatic that they're going to accept it,
That's true.
Mm.
And then that becomes a burden for her family or whoever else is around and or the state or county where she's living, right?
And imagine the stress, like, for instance, say her mother was to find her. Imagine the stress that would cause that family. They'd have to deal with her and the pets and the apartment and everything. And someone that size, I don't even know how they'd rightly get her out of there.
Mm.
Because
I think she has an intellectual disability. I think she is there's something going very wrong. When I say she's a sociopath, it's only for me to justify how cold-blooded she is, but I think she has, I don't know the politically correct terms. Tennielle.
I'm not sure either, but I know what you're talking about.
I think she's not all up there.
Her elevator didn't go all the way to the top floor.
No.
She's a few beans short of a bushel.
Yeah.
Maybe not the brightest fairy light on the strand.
And me either. When I say it, I'm only trying to justify she has no remorse, shame, or guilt. And she does despicable things. And not even later on. Like I've done things in my life, right? And then you sleep, like you go to sleep, let's say a few weeks later, and then you have one killer nightmare. And then you wake up from it, and it's your conscience. It's your conscience saying you did wrong. You need to correct this. And then it keeps pushing you until you do it. But with her, she's done so many things. She doesn't even own up to them, let alone try to correct them or say to people like Casey, I'm really sorry. I hurt you the way I did. I wasn't aware of it. I was too young, whatever. But she doesn't even have that in her, because that would be an admittance of guilt. And that's not in her. She's not wired that way.
And she has, ever since she started her channel, she's never slept good. She's always talking about she can't sleep. She's eating melatonin and trying to get some sleep, and her sleep schedule's off. And I took a nap, but I only slept for 3 hours. And then I went to sleep in the middle of the night. And she's always restless and unable to sleep. And I don't know if it's her conscious or not, but she's not getting good. She's not sleeping well at night. That's for sure.
Mm-mm.
She's always complaining about that.
I
Yeah.
wonder, she must have very severe sleep apnea, and that will
Yeah.
then, of course, make any rest that she tries to get,
Yeah. Yeah.
She should just
unsatisfying,
sleep
because she'll be
and sleep.
constantly waking up. She might not be conscious of it, but she will be constantly waking up,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, she admits to sleeping sitting up, so she can't lay down
Right?
and sleep. And she probably needs a CPAP, but just
Mhm.
from the weight,
That's right.
And too vain to wear a CPAP. At least Chantel will wear her CPAP at night.
Sometimes.
And yeah, and I bet Amber, if she would ever go to the doctor and listen to what they said, I don't think she would follow that. She wouldn't want that machine. It would be uncomfortable. It would be touching her face. It would be making a loud noise. It would be a reminder of all her bad decisions that have got her to this place. I don't think she would wear it.
No, but her having sleep apnea, and she was diagnosed with it by that one doctor that said she had the chart in my hand, and she said, "I'm healthy. You're obese, but you're healthy, and we can reverse this. Can't reverse anything, any of the damage they did at all." And that doctor said, "Yeah, that's sleep apnea." When she admitted to us that she was sleeping sitting up, and
Mhm.
I believe that she is that bitter partially. I mean, it's an intellectual disability and all kinds of other stuff, but I think she's bitter because she doesn't get enough sleep, consecutive
Mhm.
hours of sleep anymore.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
should have a CPAP machine, and but that requires maintenance, and you have to clean the the mass, right,
Yep.
Aliyah?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do. Absolutely.
You have
Yep.
to take care of it, like with anything else. And she doesn't want to go to a doctor, and she doesn't want to be told anything, because the first thing they're going to say is, "Well, we need to get some of this weight off of you, and then see what's going on here. We'll see how much of this is being
Yeah.
caused by your weight. Let's get you down a little bit, and then we'll do a whole nother round of screenings and blood work and stuff, and see what's going on." And she ain't
Exactly.
trying to hear that. She doesn't want to hear, "Let's get some of this weight off of you first, and then reassess." She wants to be reassured the weight's not the problem. Being 500 pounds overweight is not the problem. The
No.
problem is something. Here's the magic pill you can take and go and have a nice afternoon lunch, because that's the only reason you really came out in the first place.
Yeah.
You want to go
But
to
the
sleep.
melatonin pills, why would you
Mhm.
try to relax your body when your body is trying to wake you up from being oxygen deprived? She could
Right,
die every single night.
Absurd.
right. Or,
Yep.
one of the most simple, logical things to do is, if you can't sleep well, increase your activity. Have an extra walk, or do an extra little something that you don't normally do during your day, to kind of wear you out a little bit, make you feel physically tired. That will help you mentally relax and sleep a little better. If you exhausted yourself just for a little while, more than normal, more than you normally do. I
Mhm.
don't know what it would be for her, but an extra round with Twinkie, if she actually takes her for a walk, which I doubt. I think she
Right.
opens the door, lets the dog go out and piddle, and come right back in, and she stands in the door. That's what I think she calls going for a walk. But there's no way that she's like cleaning that litter box every day and walking that dog, or even allowing Twinkie to urinate and go outside and do what she needs to do as often as necessary, because she's admitted she's so lazy she won't even get up when she has to pee. She'll sit there and hold her urine and have to pee for a long time because she don't want to get up. So she gonna get up and clean a cat box? She gonna get up because Twinkie scratched the door? No. Those animals are not being cared for. If she's gonna do that to her own self,
Right.
she's not gonna get up for any other. She's not taking care of anything. I wonder if her mom comes and cleans for her.
You know what? Some people in my or a whole bunch of them in my comment section said that they don't think that Twinkie lives with her anymore.
Oh, really?
because it's again 3 pets. And so how can
Hmm.
you get a handicapped accessible apartment allowing 3 pets?
Right. Yeah. And
So maybe
Twins would be better off with somebody with a yard. If they got a fenced in yard and maybe a doggy door, regardless of what's going on, that she would be better off with access, instead
For
of being
sure.
shut up in an apartment with Amber.
yeah.
And those cats, she doesn't brush them or anything. You
Poor
can
Wasabi.
imagine after just one day what that new apartment must smell like. My God, it must be
Awful.
just eye-watering, really, just horrendous.
Yeah.
And that apartment apparently is tiny. I heard somewhere somebody looked up and found like the floor plan, and it's only like 620 square feet. I think Narc Alert was talking about she's got a tiny little apartment. And she was saying, that's the same size as my tiny little apartment here, and yet Amber is 4 times my size. So she must feel very confined in that
Mm,
that small space. And then she does these videos from her closet. So she's
mm,
got a small space and
yeah.
she's trashy and lazy and gross. That
Yeah.
apartment's going to be destroyed. That's why she's filming in the closet because there's
Yeah.
gross stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or the floorboards. I can't get past the floorboards. Every time she walks towards the camera, when she has it set up somewhere, you can see stuff moving. The
Mm,
camera that the camera is sitting on,
like
except
it's
for if it's a
shaking.
shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the water glass in Jurassic Park.
yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. If she's not on the ground floor, that's structurally worrisome.
Yeah. Hey, look, Aliyah's lights are still going in the
Oh,
diagram.
yeah.
Get a
Still
little battery,
twinkling.
eh?
So, anybody got a New Year's resolution
For sure.
that you want
Yeah.
to share? Anybody got one you want to share?
I mean, I have the same goals, I guess, that I've had for a long while, but I guess the biggest difference is that this year I'm going to kind of let go of thinking of, I talked about it in my last video, I want to replace like the F word of failure with feedback instead. Because like even when I would worry, let's say about coming on a live stream or we're recording a video, it would be like, what's my mood like? Am I going to bring anybody down, etc.? And I would spend so much time in my day-to-day life just focusing on the negative. And yes, I need to lose a lot of weight, but oh my gosh, then what am I going to do with paying for skin surgery? Because I mean, some of it is covered, some of it will not be. And what am I going to do about this? And how will I have the money to get, new clothing when nothing fits? So I just decided, you know what? As you mentioned, Tennielle, right? We have to live in the now. So right now, I'm going to make the improvements and I'm going to trust that when the time comes and I need either, to have a bit of funds for the surgery so that I don't develop more infections and have other issues, and or I need to buy, a new pair of running shoes because my feet are smaller or something like that, there will be a way, and or I'll be healthy enough to figure out a way around it, So instead of always being fearful and what will people think, how will people react, what does the family have to say about it, I'm going to do what's best for myself this year, while of course still being, considerate of what's best for everybody else, but just get things done. And I've spent so much time being fearful of, well, what if this, what if that I've probably made my life worse, by ruminating so much about fears that maybe never would have been realized. And if I had just gone ahead and faced those tackled those fears in the first place, right? So that's basically what I'm going to try to do this year, is just go ahead with what I know needs to be done. And when I start panicking or freaking out about the little details, I'm going to say, that's not my problem. My problem is to do the work. And I'm going to trust that the rest, as I need things, will somehow come along, or there'll be opportunities that will present themselves that I can then, figure out and earn what it is that I need to continue taking better care of myself.
You do
life.
the work. You do the work, and the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah. Like I think about how many people, right, will make a resolution. Let's say we'll talk about weight loss because so many people are focused on that. and okay, I want to lose X pounds per week, right? And I used to have that mentality too, because we all think, well, unless we're
Yes,
doing
that's not
this
good.
diet like so and so, where we're losing, a certain amount in a certain time frame, we're failing. But had I 25 years ago said, you know what, I don't care if I lose 5 pounds a year, I'd be slender now, wouldn't I? But because we always have these, all or nothing, or at least I do, this all or nothing black and white approach to things, we hold ourselves back. So I'm going to ditch that and just say, it doesn't matter, what those steps are. Some of them may be bigger, some of them may be tiny, but you know what, incrementally, if I keep moving in the right direction, I'm eventually going to get somewhere. And I might not know where that is. And I might at the moment be a little bit afraid of it because I haven't been there before, but I'll work it out along the way, So that's basically it, I think. I mean, there's all sorts of little stuff inside there with it, right? But that's like the overall mindset, I guess, going forward.
Wow.
Yeah. And what about you, ladies? I want to hear. And also from whoever is still here with us in the chat. Lemon Tree is still here. I'd love to hear what she's thinking.
Yeah. And with
If
me,
somebody
it's
wants to
just
share.
try to be more positive and try to work towards having a situation where I'm not so stressed anymore, reduce the stress factors and be more, not productive, I'm always productive, but more creative, to where that generates more energy and then the rest will come. Because I couldn't possibly actively work on my weight loss when I'm a food addict that keeps dealing with the stuff that I've been dealing with. It was either eating and at least maintaining my weight. I mean, either eating or drugs or something else.
Yeah. Oh, I relate to that. Yeah. It's like the emotional pain and suffering, right? Is so unbearable. You have to do something, right?
For a little comfort. For a little comfort.
Yeah.
I think that the creativity, energy thing you're talking about, the more creative you are, the more energy you have, that is totally a thing, because I can be like not wanting to get up and being tired and being lazy, and then I'll be like, oh, but I wanted to do this thing today. Boom, I'm up, I'm ready to go. Just like this morning, I was like, oh, I'm tired. It's my last day off before I got to get back to the regular work week, and I don't feel like it, I'm tired. And I was like, oh, wait, I'm going to set up in that back room for the live with Sabina and Aliyah. Oh, I'm excited about that. I hop right up and I make coffee. I'm ready to go, So definitely the creativity, energy feedback loop will get you going for sure. If it's something you truly want to do, then you'll find the energy to do it. It'll just happen for you.
That's so true. I felt the same way this morning. I thought, oh gosh, I just want to stay in bed an extra half hour. But I thought, no, I want to get myself ready. I want to look a little bit nicer. I want to, be a little bit more awake and lively. And yeah, I really look forward to it.
And you find the energy to do something that you feel inspired to do, and then being with you guys is invigorating. It makes me happy and feel, energetic and happy and engaged, important, very seen and wanted. It's a lovely thing. It's something I always want to participate in.
Yeah. And like I'm reading Rachel's comment here. She'd like to work a little bit less and play a little bit more. And based on what you're talking about, Tennielle, I relate it into the fact that I think many of us, if we could just identify and then remind ourselves, because sometimes when we're preoccupied with stressors or with work, our focus narrows and we forget about those tiny little things that we can do for ourselves in the day, right? Even if it's whether it's 5 minutes tending to, let's say, a favorite plant or working in a coloring book or whatever it may be. There are little things that we can do where we get that little burst of energy. It's actually a bigger burst of energy, right? That kind of restore us and help us tackle everything else that we need to do. And I think when we then have the energy to tackle like the basic tasks and or our work responsibilities, we're going to have a bit of energy left over in our free time where we can then pursue those, like Sabina is doing, right? When she's talking about she wants to have a bit more time to work on some of her channels, right? When she gets home from work and she's exhausted. If we then find those little means of recharging ourselves during the day, then we carry over some of that energy into the free time that we do have so we can pursue more of what it is that makes us happy, right?
Right. I feel like, a lot of times I'm not inspired to do anything. I don't want to do the dishes. I don't want to do the laundry. I don't want to vacuum the floor. But I have really been wanting to organize my closet. I shouldn't organize the closet before I do the dishes, but I know if I do something I
Yeah.
want to do,
Yeah,
it will
exactly.
encourage me to do the things that I don't want to do. So
Yeah.
once I've completed the task that I want to do, I'm like, yay, okay, that's done. What's next? And it will help me like get on the road to doing all this stuff that I don't want to do, but
Yeah.
has to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what I found myself doing is that I don't know why. Like I typically would always watch, let's say, somebody's YouTube video on the laptop, right? Which means I'm kind of stationary and I'm watching them. And then I thought, wait a second, I can carry the laptop into the kitchen, and or I can watch it on my
Yeah.
phone and balance this somewhere, and I can listen in while I'm, chopping the veggies for a soup, or I'm doing the laundry or the dishes. And that makes the task that seems so, oh, this is boring, this is burdensome, I want to do something fun, more enjoyable. And then ironically, because I'm energized listening to somebody or enjoying a video, I'm doing those boring tasks more quickly,
Mhm.
and I finish them more quickly. So I have more fun time to do and pursue other things,
When I was walking on the treadmill regularly, which I'm not right now, I still do it, but not consistently. I would reward myself with an audiobook I'd really wanted to listen to, but haven't found the time. And I would purposefully not listen to it while I was doing chores and stuff. I'd choose other things. And that was my reward for walking on the treadmill, was I got to listen to this book that I've been really wanting to hear or read or whatever, and I'd get that. For a while, it was the collected works about Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. I love those. And I found there's a channel called Magpie Audio. Is it Magpie? It's the Magpie something. Anyway, he has a fantastic reading voice, and he did all the Sherlock Holmes stories. And so I would just line up that, and I would be like, oh, I've got to hurry and quick do these chores, around here and get this done so I can go listen to Sherlock Holmes, and greatly anticipated walking on the treadmill because of the stories. And I kind of bribed myself in that way. It's like I can do what I want while I'm doing something maybe that I don't really want, and it makes it not so bad. In fact, sometimes it makes it as what I'm looking forward to all day. Is something I normally would be like, oh, I don't want to do that. But add a little, bonus, something that's pleasurable, then there you go. A crappy chore becomes something you look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just not always easy to fit all that into a busy schedule with everything else. And at the end of the day, after you've done all the stuff that has to be done, you still got to find a little bit left for yourself and what you want to do. And if we don't find those little pieces, we forget what we want. We're not into anything. We're not inspired by anything, because we know that at the end of the day, we're too tired to do it anyway. Like if you want to paint or play music or make videos or whatever it is that you're into, if you work all day, come home, all you got time to do is a few little chores, get your meal, bathe, and do your personal care routine and go to bed. You might have half an hour to relax with a book or visit with your spouse or whatever, but you're not having time to start a project that is going to like enrapture you and encompass all of your time. You got all these
and
responsibilities.
generate energy. If you only have activities that deplete your energy as opposed to generate energy.
That's exactly true. You got to sometimes put off, nobody ever went to their grave thinking they wish they would have vacuumed that floor one more time. You just gotta spend that energy and that time to just do a little something for yourself. Just a little something.
That reminds me of a grid that's often used in time management, right? I forget what it's called, but it's divided up like into 4 squares, right? And then you have what's urgent, what's important, what's I forget, but you know what I mean, right? Like it may be, or what's necessary, may be necessary to do the laundry, but is it important at the moment? Is it urgent? Does it have to be done now?
Mhm.
And then you have like a personal goal. Let's say it's walking on the treadmill, right? And is that urgent? No, it doesn't have to be done in the moment. But in terms of being important, it might stack up more important than those dishes. So you've got to figure out a balance between, don't neglect the important stuff that isn't urgent, because that's where you're going to get your energy, whether it's physical and or spiritual and emotional and creative energy from, right? By recharging yourself and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, and life is supposed to not be all drudgery. We
Right.
can't just do all the work and have none of the fun. You can't just take on all of the shitty tasks because nobody else wants to do it. You have to delegate some of that shit to somebody else so you can have a life too.
Mm.
Yes.
My husband is just off camera being silly as he wants to be.
Turn the camera around, quick.
Yeah, he's working on the guest bathroom. And when I said delegate some of those shitty tasks to somebody else, he was like, yeah, like cleaning the wax ring off of the toilet. While I'm in here having a lovely visit with my friend, he's remodeling the bathroom.
Aw, isn't that sweet, eh?
Yeah.
Do you have
We're
a nice
getting ready for our
do you have a
visitor.
nice view also? You know that meme about plumbers, right? When they're bending over and working, and like maybe that's why Tennielle can't switch the camera around right now.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, he said he's got his shirt tucked in. He's aware of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to prioritize things where you can
Yes.
find out what's important to you instead of just this laundry list of chores and duties and responsibilities that when you look at it as a whole, it just seems undoable, unmanageable. But once you wade in there, you're like, oh, that didn't take 5 minutes. I'll go do this one now, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Plus, I forget. Oh, I think it was. I don't know if I can't remember her name now, but the woman who wrote the book Sync Reflections, Fly Lady. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her at
The
all.
Fly Lady, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And oh my God, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, she pointed out that what she tries to do now is like she's dropped the perfection thing. We've got the sloth back with us. Is that like, you have to keep in mind that when you're doing a task, right, that it doesn't have to be perfect each time. So if you say, oh, I have to sweep the house, or I have to sweep the kitchen, whatever. Okay, so sometimes you're going to move the furniture around and you're going to sweep every little corner and clean everything. But there can be other times where, you know what, just sweep the main area, get it done. That's it. That's all. And, don't sweat it. When we pressure ourselves that everything has to be done to like the highest of standards, then we just utterly exhaust ourselves, right? Like if we're throwing a meal, you know what? It would be very nice if the veggies were julienned and they look beautiful, but save that for a day when you have energy. And right now, who cares if they're in big chunks and they're uneven, and so what? Just nourish yourself, get it done, get it over with, and that's it. You'll have time for something else, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what helps me a lot is seeing everything written down. My sister is the exact opposite. That would make her nervous. But I need to have like a notebook where I write everything down, like without having to think about, is this what I'm going to have to do at home or at work or whatever? I just write it down as it comes to mind. That especially helps at night before I go to bed, which I'm going to have to do soon because I have to get up at 5 a.m. And
Oh my
it's
God, yes.
8
The
and it's
lady
8
is for you.
it's 8:30 p.m.
Right.
And then I have another same format book calendar with 1 page per day.
Okay.
And then I write, things like appointments or whatever, or things that need to be picked up from the pharmacy, or whatever, like dates, not dates with men. Maybe I should make that my resolution for 2024.
Why not?
My
No.
resolution is to meet people and go places.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to meet people and
Not
go
me.
places.
Not me. Because of that job, I've come across so many people. I wouldn't have possibly had the energy to listen to somebody else after work.
Right.
And I'm the opposite of Chantal right now. That's why she drives me up the wall. I am so picky. you'd have to, my father, if he knew about it, he would say, I'm going to draw you a man. I'm going to draw you. Because I have so many expectations after what I've been through. I'd rather be single than make compromises again.
Yeah.
But they say when your pain of a lonely heart is not as bad as your pain about being lonely, then it's time to get out there again. And I'm not at that point. I have too much on my plate, and I want to, deal with that first, and then I can be open again.
Well, Tennielle, you
I'm
talk
going
about
to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Aliyah.
you talk about going out and meeting people and going places. If you're ever ready to come across the border,
You never know. I tried to go and visit Rachel, and I had a horrible experience at Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. We were caught in a storm, and everything bad that could happen did happen, and the trip didn't happen. And so I was supposed to be trying to get my feet wet with traveling there. It was my first flight as an adult, and it was exciting and everything, but then it all went to hell, and that did not work out. And my husband came and rescued me like a knight in shining armor. He drove 3 hours in a terrible storm to just come collect me.
oh, that's
And
sweet.
it was. Yeah, when I saw him, it was just like, thank God you're here. But yeah, so she's coming to visit me.
That's
And so that's
awesome.
going to be happening really soon. So I'll get to meet her for the first time, which is going to be it'll be the first time I'll get to actually in person meet one of my YouTube family like you
Isn't
guys.
that nice, eh?
Yeah, it's going to be wonderful. And so we're going to have a week together here, and I get to show her around, and we're planning on making fairy houses in the woods and tree stumps around my house.
Oh,
And we'll be sharing all of that. I don't know if we're going to do a live stream, but we've talked about it. But I'll definitely vlog and share pictures of our whole visit and everything.
that'd be awesome.
Super fun. And then later in the year, I'm supposed to meet Kate. We've got a little adventure planned. I have another friend I'm hoping to run into at
That's
some point.
wonderful.
And so, yeah, I feel like this year is going to be the year to go places and meet people. And one of the people I'm most looking forward to meet is my grandson, Barrett. He will be born in the middle of February, and I cannot wait to meet him.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I am so excited. And my son and his wife have decided they're only going to have one child. So this child is going to be the spoiled baby, grandbaby of everybody. So I cannot wait.
I can't wait for you either. I'm
Yeah.
so happy for you.
Oh, I'm very excited, Rachel, too. I can't wait for you to arrive. We've got so many plans made, you guys. We're going to share a lot of them with you. And yeah, I'm actually just over the moon about being a grandmother. I just cannot wait
Oh,
to meet you.
yeah.
I remember feeling that way when I was pregnant. I can't wait to meet you. I cannot wait to see your face and meet you for the first time. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
You're wonderful. Gosh.
So, yeah, meeting people and going places. That's my watchwords for this
That
coming
sounds
year.
good. And I know, Sabina, you said you have to go through, but tell us quickly what for you sums up the year ahead, what you want, what you're going to pursue.
Reducing the effort I put into work and really working on the things that generate energy. I've been missing that ever since I started that job.
Okay.
I have so much energy and so much positive energy, and I remember how I started this channel here, how I did videos on every topic and how I dealt with certain things, and I felt so satisfied afterwards because I always figured, or I wanted for somebody to stand in front of me and say, this is how I deal with this.
Mhm.
And I'm a Virgo, and I'm an analytic mind, and I would like to have, I would have liked to have that. And so I would like to be that again, because even on my other channel, where I basically just rant, but also, pepper in some private things, how I dealt with situations. People always say, I love when you talk about yourself. It helps me so much how you deal with things and how you're still a positive person and how you go about things. like I just did with to-do lists, and how
Yeah.
Lemon Tree also said how satisfying it is. That is the number one reason I'm doing it. Well, number one is to get it out of my head so that I don't feel like I'm forgetting something, so I write it down so it's there. So I open that notebook again and I see it again,
Right.
especially things about work, because otherwise I go crazy.
Oh, too many
And
details to keep track of, right? Yeah.
exactly. And so I would like to do that because that always generated more energy. And these people with their fireworks, they keep going. Um, and that generates energy. And so it's a self-perpetuating system. Like you
It's
do
a
something,
feedback
like you,
loop.
you put a
Yeah.
lot of work into a project, into a video, and then you have even more energy, and then you're like, what can I do around here? With
Mhm.
work, it's like they drain me. I come home, I'm drained.
Yep.
That's it. And so that's what I would like to focus intensively on this year, to do more things that make me feel creative, and that
And
I'm
energize
gonna
you.
have to close this damn window to even get some sleep. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
the main thing for me for 2024.
I'm the same way with being creative. I'm hoping to turn something that I enjoy into some kind of side hustle, which will give
Good.
But
me
you
more
have so
money.
many, like you and Aliyah,
Mhm.
like a handicrafts. My sister is all about crocheting, knitting. I
Mhm.
don't know what else she calls even that stuff. And then I showed her a clip of a machine that does it automatically. But that would be like, why have a machine when you enjoy
Right.
doing it?
Yeah.
And
Right.
when Aliyah, when I watched your video about the journal prompts, and then I thought, yeah, if I was into that, I used to be into it as a child, into watercolors, into drawing pictures. It was a creative outlet for me, but it's no longer that.
Mhm.
For
Hmm.
me, it's writing down thoughts
Yeah.
and grasping concepts and doing prompts like the self-love workbook,
Okay. Yeah.
because we also change. Like you can always go through that book again and again. I don't make notes inside the book,
Right.
but
Right.
on a notepad.
Yeah.
And so that is it for me. And so I would like to do a lot more of that this year.
Good. I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you
Me
so
Yeah,
much
too.
for hosting us, Sabina. We very much appreciate it. So
my
wonderful to
pleasure.
see you, ladies, and to talk to all of the nice people here in the chat too. I
It's
hope
been
everyone
wonderful.
has a blessed year with only good things happening in them, health, happiness, fulfillment of your dreams and your goals, and lots of energy and happiness and fun coming your way too, right?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
And to everybody that was here and left again and came back and left again, and to those that watched the
Of
recording,
course.
thank you so much for being here, for watching this. And we're sorry about all the comments we did not say anything, respond to.
Yeah.
I read each one of them, and I would have. It's three of us. We can't. But don't take it personal. We try
Yeah, and
to.
I'm sorry I typed on screen. I did turn off my mic when I sneezed, which would have been significant.
I was
So
coughing
I'm
earlier and I
learning.
turned myself off.
Thank you so much, Anne. Only good things and blessings to you too. And it's nice to meet you here.
Yes. Thank you for your blessing, Aliyah, as always, and may you have twice the number, dear.
That's so sweet of you. And I'm so excited for you, Tennielle, for your little guy coming along and
Oh,
for your visit with Rachel. Oh, that's
I
wonderful.
am just over the moon. I am over the moon. I'm so
And
excited.
I'm sure Rachel is too. You guys are going to have a great time. That's so nice. Nice meeting
Yes,
you
it's
here,
gonna be
Rachel. And I
fun.
can't wait to get to know you better in Tennielle's videos and vlogs, whatever you're going to share. And if you don't want to share, that's
Hopefully,
okay too.
yeah, hopefully we can do a live stream. I'm hoping to show you all the wonderful things we're going to get up to. We've been planning for a long time, and we're gathering materials and getting ready to really just
Oh, that's so cool.
do some real creative stuff together. She's a very creative person, and it's just inspires me to be creative. I've always wanted to do fairy houses, and we have a wonderful place here. It's just perfect. And so we'll definitely share that.
Super.
She's just inspired me to want to do it as well. And
Looking
oh, it's
forward to
just
that.
so cute. We're gonna do, the little windows and doors on the roots
Oh,
of big trees, and we're gonna do some little lights and things, and really fix it up
that
to make
sounds
it a
like
really
so much
magical
fun and
place.
so relaxing at the same time, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good
It's going to be a
stuff.
little bit cold here, so we'll have to bundle up to go outside and play, but we're definitely going to have some good times. And yeah, we're going to video some things, and hopefully we'll get on one evening and do a live stream. Maybe when it's a good time for you, Sabina, we'll try and keep in mind your time frame as well, and get together and hang out again together. This is always so much fun. I never even noticed the time going by. It's almost
Me
4 hours.
either. People
can't
see this
believe it.
afterwards and they think the last time 5 hours or 4.5, this time almost 4. They're crazy. But we don't feel the time going by.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's just like being with great friends, just chatting away.
I was just thinking that, you know? Yeah, when you're in great company with the people that you love and you enjoy spending time with, you don't pay attention to how much time is flying by. It feels like it's too short. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Lemon Tree. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Nice to see you here, Lemon Tree. You have a great year too. Thank you.
Yes.
Everybody,
Yes.
I hope everybody has a very healthy and prosperous year.
Amen. Yes, indeed.
And energetic. And we're all going to have plenty of energy at our disposal this year. Positive thoughts.
Let's all work towards that.
And we can tell each other. Because, when one of us is down, somebody else will be up, and we can inspire and help each other and invigorate each other and keep whenever the down times come, because they always do. You have a little support system there to help you be like, oh, I feel like crap. I don't want to do it. I understand. What I did today was this, and that helps.
That's very true. Yeah,
it does. And even when we're not in touch, and this goes for the both of you, I always have you on my mind.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah.
There are certain people that I think about all the time. I'll be shopping and be like, oh, Sabina would like this. Or, doing something and be like, oh, that just reminds me of Aliyah. Oh, speaking of which, let me go get your painting, Aliyah. And I will hold it up so you can get a nice look of it before we go.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Tennielle was saying that, she has to think about sending it over one day. And I was thinking, my goodness, I have to figure out the cost and reimburse her for the shipping because it's going to cost a fortune. And then I thought, you know what? Please hold on to it, because I'm hoping one day, God willing, I can afford a road trip and drive out there to Arkansas and see Tennielle.
Yeah.
Waiting for you to, if you ever do, I know you used to talk about it, maybe one day coming back to the States. Oh my gosh, you'd be a lot closer. That would be so awesome.
Yeah. Wait, before you say anything else, you just mentioned road trip. I still want to hear that quarter story.
You know what? I wrote that down that I have to do that for you. But there are a couple of key images I have to get off of Google to make the story even more interesting, because then you really can see like how funny it was. And yes, I will do that. I do have that written down, and I will now follow through.
Looking forward to that. It's been a long time coming.
I have a few other really funny ones too. So I will share them. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I love that. That relaxes me just looking at. Look how beautiful that is.
Yes.
Tennielle, this could be like the side hustle, or one of them, because you're so talented with so many things.
There we go. There we go.
That is gorgeous.
Wow.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Y'all save it for me, okay?
Definitely. I call it Aliyah's garden. It looks like a garden to me, like as if this were the horizon line.
Yeah, it reminds me of a Monet, actually.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of Monet, the beautiful colors and like the I forget what that's called, the impressionistic. Yeah. I love it. It is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
So thank you to everybody here. Thank you, Sabina. Thank you, Tennielle. Thank you, Anne Lemon Tree Quilts, Rachel Rinse Repeat, all the other names I can't recall.
Tycho and Vasily, Mavis and Mudhead.
Yes,
Mavis and Mudhead. I'm definitely going to check them out for sure.
Okie dokie.
All right, you guys. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for making this possible. If it had just been me, then it would have been boring and me just reading comments all the time.
One more thing. They say what you do on New Year's, you do all year. So New Year's Day, we spent with good friends having good times. So all year long.
That sounds fab. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Tschüssi.
Bye. Tschüssi.